Internet, welcome back to the Fosterable Lounge. You're listening to episode 35. I am Patrick. I am joined by the full gang, the three little pigs themselves, Saif, Steve, and Josh. Say hi, everyone.
I made the brick house.
Oink, oink,
I
oink,
made
oink,
the
oink.
straw house.
Oink, oink, oink.
Does that mean Steve has wood? Wait, shit, that was the wrong person to direct that at.
Ooh. Now that you're asking.
Yeah,
the
see,
real
there we
question.
go.
Was
See,
it
now he's
wood?
got
I
to
thought
lean
it was
in
mud.
and oh, is it mud? I thought it was sticks.
The one I know is straw, sticks, and brick.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
I thought it was like
mud
wood as in
straw
like,
and-
I thought you meant wood as in like an erection.
I like that your middle class pig is just poor Josh.
straw
is
was
how
the
middle
middle
class
class in
feels
my
these
mind.
days.
Well, as long as they're biodegradable straws.
Strong start.
Just goes to the
35
Macca's thing and it's like taking the
I'm taking
disposable straws.
the new cardboard ones, and I'm like, with it, please don't rain.
Meanwhile,
just
in New
spits
South
on it
Wales,
and just melts.
floods.
Well, big episode 35. I looked up, I shamelessly Googled fun facts about 35.
Did you actually?
Surprisingly, there's a Wikipedia page on them. It's 35,
Ooh.
35 the number. Nothing is interesting at all.
That is such
Well,
a
we
shame.
pretty much-
You set that up so well. I was really intrigued.
I know. Yeah. Well, okay. So the passable ones. We'll poll the co-host. See how we go. So first one. 35 is the sum of the first 5 triangular numbers, making it a tetrahedral number.
I think that's kind of neat.
That's math. I hate it.
Yeah,
I
you're
think
an-
that's kind of cool.
Nerd.
Oh,
The fact, my dude.
I didn't say the fact.
No, not you.
Sorry, it's kind of hard to hear through all these mud walls. Am I right?
Shut up.
It comes through the internet.
Josh has
no,
had a rough night so far.
Been all of 2 minutes. The one that was somewhat more interesting is 35mm film being the most commonly used gauge of film in photography and motion pictures.
That one
there we
is
go.
actually interesting.
Yeah. We cannot use this the week, like next week or the previous week. So glad everyone tuned in for this one.
I watch films on my TV.
Thank you, Steve.
Some of us aren't that rich.
Yes.
Some of us have to watch films.
in your stick house.
Some of us have to watch films on our UMDs on the PSP.
I got
nice.
an OLED made out of mud in my mud house again.
It's still an OLED though, right?
Damn right.
35
Well,
is
mud backwards
also
is dumb. Just like this conversation. Oh,
True.
he does it again. What a zinger.
final fun fact. 35 is the atomic number for bromine, or
Hey, we're all
bromine,
bros.
based on
Bro
based on
ours.
how it's. Aw, that was sweet. I mean, you wouldn't let me finish the fucking line, but I guess we'll just run with yours. No, that's
There's
cool.
only,
That's-
there's only the quick and the dead, big fella.
yeah, and there's only the people with stick houses and the people in
Don't.
mud houses.
Damn it.
But
Oink,
that's okay. Any fun tech and or Krispy Kreme related stories to regale the rest of the group?
I had an incredibly sugary cookie, but it's not a Krispy Kreme donut, so you might not want to hear about it.
It's true, but every time that I say I don't want to hear about it, usually the people that I tell that to just say the story anyway. So I guess balls in your court, Seth.
I'll be kind and skip over it. I just had a peanut butter
Why
cookie.
bring it up then? Why bring it up? They should always be asking, why did he start talking, Seth?
Why did I have the
Why did
ball,
he-
Bart? Why did I have the ball?
Fine, I'll talk about it. I went to work this morning. I went to the Max
I
Brenner.
literally didn't ask.
I went to the Max Brenner
God,
place
Steve's
that's
just on
next
the
door.
warpath today.
Went to Max Brenner. Oh my god.
Yeah,
How much was
and
that donut? $30.
It
It
was
wasn't a
like
donut, it was a cookie.
it was like $10 for a hot chocolate and a cookie.
Fucking hell, inflation hit you bad.
Yeah. I got a.
You don't believe me? Google Seth Rule 34 inflation.
I'm cutting that one out. I got
Bro,
a
that
peanut
joke
butter
only worked
cookie,
yesterday.
and they drowned that shit in dairy milk like sauce. It was way too sugary for me. I couldn't finish it.
You went to a place that specializes in covering everything in chocolate and then complained about your cookie that was covered in chocolate.
I didn't know that they actually went and covered everything in chocolate. Last time I got a banana bread from there.
It's
They're
their
like,
entire gimmick.
I didn't know that. Last time I went there, I've only been there one time before. I was like, oh yeah, I'll have a banana bread, and like, do you want some butter or do you want chocolate on that? I'm like, I'll take the butter, thanks.
Bro, when you pay with coins, the change that they give you is literally covered in chocolate.
I want to just bring up that the name of the actual place is literally Max Brenner Chocolate Bar. How do you not know that they cover everything in chocolate?
I thought that'd be a choice.
But they mean like chocolate bar as in like a chocolate bicky or
No, they mean bar like a
they mean
pub.
chocolate bar like a chocolate version of the very famous American lawyer exam that you have to sit to be officially registered. It's a bit of a weird reference, but I guess that's what they built their brand on.
Suits was a great show.
I wear a suit
Suits was
sometimes.
great up until the last couple seasons. Then it just felt like everything could have been solved over email.
That sounds like so many
Yeah, I
American
agree.
sitcom complaints.
Well, because the thing was, I've forgotten both of the main people's names. The two main people left, and then it was like, okay, what? It literally had the
It
office
was
problem.
Mike and Rachel. They literally
sure,
just left
it was-
because she became a literal princess.
Yeah, like,
But
no,
it's-
that sounds like what happens with literally every single American sitcom. It happened to Scrubs as well.
Parks and Rec, I think managed to dodge a bullet on that. But yeah, no,
yeah,
they,
Parks and
they,
Rec just kept going up.
they went through the office situation where the effective main character or main characters left, and so then the show, it didn't even really go downhill. It just didn't really do anything new.
Just
and
flatlined.
Mike was like the most interesting part of the show by a mile. So
It was the only part of the show.
kinda
Anyway.
That's pretty
But-
rude.
kinda true though. Anyway,
Ooh.
right. So should we do album of so okay, Steve, you call me out for this every week, and I was gonna say I love you for it. I don't. I hate you for it. Would
You're stuck
you,
with me
Steve?
anyway.
Would I don't have a choice. Seth has a gun to my head.
I don't.
If
Yet.
future Seth, edit a gun pointed at my head in this for this bit. Thanks. Would you like to do the album of the week now, or when I announce it in Round the Lounge and then forget about it for like 2 minutes and then remember it again?
Let's go with at the lounge. I do like it, the calling you out on it. I find that pretty funny.
Cool. Wait,
You've just given up.
Am I?
You've just given up the ability to do it though, since you gave him permission. Any attempt you do to try and call him out, I will cut it out.
And also get the spray bottle. But that's cool. I guess we'll go into into Round the Lounge for this week. Josh, what's your week looking like?
What's my week looking like? Not really too much. I've been trying to catch up on Monster Hunter. I've been still playing with my VR set that, while it is fun, I also feel like I need to justify the amount of money I spent on it, so I will use that every day for the next, 2 years. And then I finished Final Fantasy VII Remake last week, so Seth finished that this week, so we can talk about that.
Do
Oh,
we
way
have
to
though?
steal my week.
Yeah, you got other things. Grow up.
I can't believe that it's 7 remakes of Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think they're
And
getting
the
close to
crazy part
7
is-
sequels.
Well, they're also blowing this the 7th remake into like 3 or 4 additional remade parts. It's crazy. Nothing but inflation and money hungry.
Don't believe me?
executives.
Google Final Fantasy 7 inflation. No, too far. Sorry.
See,
fellas.
the thing is, no one believes you ordinarily, but I don't know that anyone listens to that and goes, "I'm going to show Steve."
I'm not even there to see
Don't believe
the
me.
reaction.
Right. Thank
Google
you for that,
pat
Josh.
inflation.
Don't do that. Especially not on any of my social media handles. Seth,
Patflation.
other than Final Fantasy VII, what have you been up to?
Well, just to spite Josh, yes, I did finish Final Fantasy VII Remake this week. I also did the DLC for that. And
I really thought you were going to say, just to spite Josh, I finished Final Fantasy VIII Remake.
that game probably deserves a remake.
does, it does.
I also finished watching All of Us Are Dead. Yeah, that's a pretty good show that I wasn't a fan of how it went towards the ending.
Was it an American sitcom?
No, it was a Korean zombie show.
Okay, well, I mean, it's kind of close if you think about it.
Is
I'm
it?
thinking about
Don't believe me?
it.
Google's zombification of American media.
Wow, that was oddly insightful.
was.
Cool, thank you for that. Steve, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to, fellas? Man, where do I start?
Probably
Mass
in the
Effect-
third game.
in the third game.
Yeah.
So yeah, Gen 3 is probably one of the better
True,
Pokemon
though.
games. But I have been
Based.
playing
The effect
Mass
you're having
Effect.
on me is massive, man. Like, fuck.
Don't believe me? I've been playing Mass Effect 3 after I had a bit of a rest from it while I played some other games, and I'm back on the Mass Effect horse, and oh boy. Yay! There's no horses. in Mass Effect.
sounding buck wild there.
That was the worst thing I've ever heard.
You obviously hadn't heard any of the other episodes of this podcast.
Remember that time I
nothing
said I'd pay
screams.
$80 for Dragon Ball: The Breakers? Man, what a wild ride that was.
How far we've come from that, am I right? I'm glad we've emotionally matured since that point.
Yeah, now I only have to pay 50.
Man, they're
And
really
they say
doing you a favor.
inflation's going up.
Don't believe me? Google horse inflation.
Please stop. I'm gonna cry. Stop.
Safe search off on your work laptop. Right in
and, do
your
us,
result.
and do us a favor. When the police ask what you're doing, tell them NordVPN sent you.
I was about to say, and when you get caught with some shit, download NordVPN.
We've been way too much in sync this week, Josh. You really need to sort it out.
We have been, actually.
I'm worried. I'm worried about myself in this. You're used to it. I'm not. But that's cool. All right. Why don't
What are
we
you up to,
start?
Pat? What are you up to?
I mean, there's some Outer Wilds chat, but we ended up accidentally covering half of it last week against my wishes.
Well, do you want to talk about the album?
Monster
Monster
Do
for
you,
another hour.
do you want to talk about album of the week then? Dabs.
Unironically,
I
might
have to leave
might
that
have
one
slipped
in.
my
He
mind,
wasn't
but-
calling you out for it.
Yeah,
He was
no,
just
it's-
asking
it's-
politely.
No, that one was on me. Also because I might have forgotten about it. But anyway, yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, I'll do album of the week. Might as well start with that now. Even, why not? Crazy episode 35 that we're already in. So Josh's album of the week this week is "The Last
Damn
Goodbye"
it.
by Odessa. It's the third studio album from the duo. It came out 2 weeks ago. Thereabouts. Yeah, like July 20-ish, plus or minus a couple days. First of all, has anyone else listened to it?
I
No.
did.
I was going to, but I didn't.
Wow. I mean,
Thanks
at
for
least
trying.
the thought was there. Yeah, thanks
I-
for trying to just use one of your senses.
Okay, I'm done. I've done my contribution to this. You guys can take the floor.
I literally just heard Patrick make the recommendation to Josh. I didn't even hear what the album or the band was, so I just left it on the floor.
Here, it was a text message.
Wasn't it
Just in
over
the
a
chat.
call?
No.
I just
Okay.
left it on the floor. I didn't even pay attention to the text message.
Just read it and you're just looking at this going, I don't know. This doesn't matter to me. I can't read.
This message can't stop me.
All right, tell us about the album, Patrick.
All right, so I'm mistaken as the fourth studio album. My bad. I thought it was the third. Why it was? Okay, there's one in there that I'm not knowing, because I know of A Moment Apart and In Return. I do not know what the third album.
Bronson.
Is it
According
actually,
to
or are you just throwing words out?
No.
No word.
I don't know. They had a. Look, I'm reading the Wikipedia. I'm not contributing anything. Please just ignore the ramblings of this crazy person.
Anyway, yeah. So I was mistaken. Somewhere there's a fourth album in there, but it's in my mind the third album, because In Return and then A Moment Apart, and then A Moment Apart was 5 years ago. It's been a crazy 5 years, because that so weirdly I know when A Moment Apart came out specifically, because I know exactly what I was doing at university when I was listening to it religiously alongside In Return, and it's crazy that was 5 years ago.
Different time. That was
the other
BC before
album,
COVID.
so there was Summer's Gone in 2012, In Return in 2014,
Oh,
Moment
Summer's
Apart
Gone.
2017, and then
Yes.
July 20th.
Yeah, it's winter in the moment.
Goodbye.
I completely forgot about Summer's Gone. Yes, no, I am familiar with that one. I listened to a couple tracks from that semi-regularly. For some reason, I just count that as like more of an EP. Anyway, no, that's exactly what it was. Thank you for that, Josh. So, I don't think there are any cool facts about this album because it's only been out for like 2 weeks. So any kind of numbers or anything, I'm sure, are still being calculated. I don't know. Josh, what were your thoughts on this album?
I thought it was really good. There's one kind of cool fact that I was looking up. So there is a singer.
Oh, I'm Josh. I didn't prepare anything for this.
I didn't prepare anything. I've been reading it to look up what the album was, but there is a singer. It samples vocals from Betty LaVette. It was the 1965 hit song "Let Me Down Easy," which is it samples.
Let Me Down Easy. Shame you could only get the samples. It's not that much to get the full song, is it?
It's probably free on Spotify, actually.
I don't think it's free. Like you've got to pay for Spotify. If you're getting the free version of Spotify, well, you've got bigger problems.
Right. So you could get the full version, but it's with ads.
Yeah.
Ads in between the song.
No, ads in the middle of the song.
So what I thought about the album, I mean, it's the same as kind of every other Odessa album to me. They're just like they're very good ambient music, which I just love. Like when I'm in the right mood for it, it really hits. I thought my favorite song off the album was probably "Love Letter." I really liked that.
So I'm going to be a bit controversial because I'm a huge fan of Odessa, but I didn't like this album as much. I thought there were a couple songs on there that you know were excellent, like up there with my favorite Odessa songs. But as an album, the problem that I have with it is that I hear music from In Return and I know it's Odessa. I hear music from A Moment Apart, I know it's Odessa. I hear music from The Last Goodbye, and it's harder to know that it's Odessa. And I think it's because in the 5 years, a lot of that sort of music has become more popular, and therefore the Odessa sound, as I know it as, has just become a bit blurred. Like something like The Last Goodbye, I've now heard on like a few different ads, one of which I think was like a MacBook ad, I think, and it starts sounding similar to music that I heard for like a BMW ad that I saw on TV recently. And obviously that's just one song, but that is, I think, a little bit symptomatic of more of the sounds that they're going for in this one, whereas the previous two albums, admittedly, I was in a very different place when I was listening to those previous two albums, being just kind of Sigma grind set at university, so maybe that's got something to do with it. But this version of You, the first track, Wide Awake, the second track, Love Letter's good, and I think Equal are probably my top picks.
Equal was also good. There was like 3 songs, I think, that made me actually go, oh, what song's this? And it was Love Letter, I think Equal was one of them, and The Last Goodbye as well, because of the sample. I specifically remember hearing it and going, that's odd. So, I think that was pretty much the only ones that grabbed my attention.
But that's kind of the problem, is because it's super funny because I listen to In Return a ton. I listen to In Return a huge amount. If I go back to my top songs from Spotify between like 2015 and probably 18 or 19, Odessa features heavily in my most listened to over the year. I listened to In Return, and then A Moment Apart came out, and I went, oh man, A Moment Apart's got such a strong opening, tracks 1 and 2. Like awesome. Hope the rest of the album continues this way. And I remember thinking, after I'd listened to it for the first time, damn, In Return was better. That's such a shame. And it took maybe like a week or so of listening, and then I realized actually the back half of A Moment Apart is amazing. Well, just the whole album is just amazing. And my problem is that I've listened to a lot of The Last Goodbye, hoping that that's the case again, and I just haven't had that moment. I haven't had the moment click where I go, oh, actually, a lot of The Last Goodbye is super memorable, and I know what the track names are, and it's really fun to listen to. There's no bad songs on there. It's just not notable like the previous two albums were. And I hate that I have to say that because I like Odessa so much.
I can see that. I can agree with that. I was not a massive fan of theirs, but I know quite a few of their songs. Like hearing you say it, I think, like I said, it's good background music, but like that's background. Most of what this album was.
Yeah.
It wasn't a huge like amount of like just attention grabbers like the other albums did have.
Yeah, and I think that's ultimately what the problem is. So I'd put In Return at like an 8.5, well, probably a 9 actually. It goes hard. A Moment Apart, a Moment Apart would be like a 9.5. It's really close to like one of my favorite albums, just because I can listen to it while doing anything and it just fits and it's awesome. But The Last Goodbye, I don't know. It's got a couple couple standout tracks, but overall, as an album, having listened to it for as much as I have for how long it's been out for, I know that I would have spoken more highly of In Return and A Moment Apart, so I just have to give it lower. I don't know, like a 6. Like, it's worth listening to, but it's just not. You listen to it once, you're like, that was cool. There's maybe 1 or 2 songs that I'd listen to again, but otherwise, see you later, you know?
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 7.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk / Josh's Album of the Week. It was fun. We'll do it again next week with
Wouldn't
an
it be
album
a Pat Talk?
I mean, it could. Like, let's not rule it out. Like, I personally think that Pat is a better name than Ted, but
I
that's
feel
just
like
my
there's
opinion.
a little bit of a bias about that, though.
Well, I mean, if you come to my Pat Talk, you'll see why. I'll explain all of the details and it'll be a whole thing. There'll be like some red letters in the background. I'll do it in like a really dark room with audience that just kind of acts like they're really engaged, but then just kind of laughs on demand. You have to see it. You have to see it.
There'll be 3 separate studio props: a brick house, a straw house, and a mud house.
And I'll talk about how it's actually some kind of what's the one that they always do? Everything that we thought about this topic was wrong. Everything that we thought about how to build houses with pigs was wrong.
The way that you've been thinking all of your life, the way that you've been trained to think, you need to retrain yourself because that is like the incorrect. Yeah, every TED Talk ever.
Yeah. That's the format. Oh, good. You can rip on it, but some of them are genuinely interesting. It's just
some of them are quite good.
The ones that you don't seek out, and the ones that the algorithms are like, hey, would you like to watch this? No, no, I'm good.
No thanks.
Yeah, not today. I don't want to reevaluate my life for the 3rd time this week. I'm already at 2. Anyway, on to the next thing. I think we hit Mass Effect 3.
Yay! Pew 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 pew
Pew,
pew
pew, pew, pew. Well, I guess there'd only be 3 pew pew pews, right?
pew pew pew.
What
because
color
I'm
are the
reading.
pews?
Yeah.
All right, so Mass Effect check. Josh and Saif, you haven't played Mass Effect 3, have you?
Nope.
No.
All I know about it is that it had 3 different colored endings.
It's a bit more nuanced than that, but yeah, but you played it
Not
as well.
on, not on launch, it
A bit
didn't,
more
no.
nuanced than that. Not really.
That's really the journey.
They had to patch into nuance, didn't they?
Yeah, it's a whole thing. I'm not up to the ending yet. Don't
Okay,
spoil it.
Seth, when you put it that way, it makes it sound bad. All right, can we just calm it down?
No,
Yeah,
I
we're
feel
talking about
like
the game here,
I feel
not the
like it's
ending.
an important
Yeah,
thing
you're
to
right.
make
Have you
EA
played it?
seem bad.
Is this your review?
Yes, I'm taking over now.
Bro, is this a Seth talk right now? Did everything we thought about Mass Effect 3 was wrong?
I can't wait for the Andromeda review next week, to be honest.
I don't want to say it, but I've like got the itch to play it just to remember if it was that shit.
See,
God.
I was the same. I finished 3. That was my thought too. Don't do it.
Yeah.
It's a gateway, bro. It's a gateway.
Oh,
Should we actually let him start on Mass Effect 3, or?
No,
I don't know, I feel like shitting on EA some more.
No, don't please do not misunderstand. I will happily glad and shit on EA every day of the week. Like, I will literally start doing it right now. I just don't think we should be shitting on Mass Effect.
What about Andromeda? No, sorry, go on.
Okay.
BioWare is responsible for the worst Sonic game.
You mean there's a good Sonic game?
There's some. It's very rare.
Anyway, Mass Effect 3.
The biggest Uno Reverso card. So,
Hey,
Mass
yeah,
Effect.
So Mass Effect 3. So it picks up about, I think it's 18 months after the events of Mass Effect 2, where your commander Shepard had joined up with Cerberus, which is sort of a human terrorist organization, to sort of take down the collectors because they were harvesting human colonies. You're on Earth, and literally within the first 5 minutes, Earth is under attack by the Reapers, and it's like, well, you've got to go and assemble an army, big fella. And it's like, no, I want to stay and fight. It's like, no, fuck out of here. So yeah, then pretty much the adventure begins, and you go off to space, and you got to get your army together to fight off the Reapers. And it turns out everybody else is under attack, and it's like, well, why should I give forces to help your home planet? My home planet's on fire as well. So it's like one part third-person shooter, one part diplomacy simulator. But I still really enjoy it. They take over a lot of the choices from number 2. Not me, because I kept all my crew members alive because I was very good. But if you had like killed off crew members,
Don't be humble.
Why would I? I'm not Kendrick Lamar. So at the end of Mass Effect, yeah, thank you. So at the end of Mass Effect 2, there's like the final mission. You can like have a bunch of characters, like your party members, essentially die if you don't make the right choices or you don't do their loyalty missions. But in Mass Effect 3, like if they stay alive, they hang out with you and are like, oh hey, how you going? Remember me? We went on that suicide mission together. It's like, cool.
Like,
do you want to join my squad? And they're like, no, thanks. I've got stuff to do. And it's like, oh, okay, cool.
I
Thanks
don't
for
feel
the
like
cameo,
another
I guess.
suicide mission.
Yeah. Nah, sorry, fam, I'm busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sane.
Some people just send you an email. Leave them on red. So the gameplay is very, it's still a third-person cover-based shooter in the same vein that Mass Effect 2 was. The different change is that no matter what class of character you start off with, you can use all weapons, whereas in Mass Effect 2, it sort of gated you out of like certain weapons depending on your class, unless you pick like the soldier class and you had access to all of them. That does make it quite easy. Like I'm playing on the Insanity difficulty, and I remember my first playthrough of Mass Effect 3 on Insanity, like it was so hard. But now I'm not sure whether it's just because I've gotten better or maybe I just sort of know which weapons to use or I upgrade my weapons properly. It just seems really easy. Like at the start, I sort of died a bunch and then I sort of got better weapons and I just only die when I'm like fucking around. So it's pretty good. There's a wide variety of weapons you can use. My favorite is I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think it's like the Phaeton, which you get where you get in one of the DLCs and it's literally just a machine gun with 50 bullets. Chuck some incendiary ammo on it. Everyone's on fire. Pew, 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 pew. You can bring squad mates into combat as well. They can use their special abilities. They're not exactly room temperature IQ comes to mind. A lot of them just sort of hang out in cover, but they sort of you can sort of give them directions of where you want to do if you want to use them as a decoy. That you to absorb one bullet before the AI is like, hey, wait a minute, that's not the main character. But at the same time, you're playing on Insanity difficulty. It doesn't fall into the common trope of let's just give the enemies a shit ton of health and do a shit ton of damage. It falls into the category. It's like, okay, the AI is smart and will try to flank you or throw a couple of grenades or will literally just target you. So I quite enjoy that. It doesn't really stop me from my rampage. The choices that you've made in like the last two Mass Effects really sort of come through because as you're fighting the Reapers, there's like a galactic readiness sort of meter you've got to fill up. And a lot of the choices that you've made in Mass Effect 1 and 2 will fill that bar or even decrease it depending on the actions you chose and if you decide to kill people or survive them. I'm still playing as like a renegade shepherd. Like a renegade essentially means I'm literally telling everybody like fuck off and join and like fuck off.
Punching reporters in the face, got it?
Literally, like unironically, yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it.
She's a war asset. Actually, no, I didn't do that. I kept Diane Alders as her name. I was like, nah, you can come onto the ship.
Yeah, but you can't punch her.
You can tell her to like pack your stuff and get off the ship though pretty fast.
Yeah.
Like literally, like you're having a conversation with this camera lady on your ship, and she's pretty much like, hey, how you going? Can you do an interview? And it's like one option is like, yeah, sure. And the other option is like, pack your stuff and get out.
Get out. Oh my
it's
God.
like, okay. Like,
what's even dumber though, it's been a while since I've looked it up, but so Diane Allers, so what Steve was saying about the Galactic Readiness Score, that thing has such a specific breakdown, right? Like, your ship, the Normandy, is a war asset as part of the Galactic Readiness thing, so it has a certain score. I don't remember what any of the scores are, but I do remember that Diane Allers, a single human female that acts as a reporter with an autonomous camera, is worth more to Galactic Readiness than some elite like platoon of soldiers that you can rescue.
Yeah, like it's pretty funny how they sort of calculate the Galactic
it's
Readiness.
It's really funny. You start making weird things. You start doing weird choices. I remember there was like a weird amount of it that could be based in units of Diane Allers. It's like, would you rather have 5 Diane Allers, or I think it might have actually been 10 Diane Allers, or the entire second fleet of humanity, or something, where it was just, if you just took the points and compared them, that's the trade-off you have. It's so funny.
Yeah, and it's kind of strange as well, just on that galactic readiness point. Like in the original Mass Effect 3, there were sort of two ways to get it. You could either get it through gameplay and story choices, or you could get it through multiplayer and playing the multiplayer modes.
God, I miss the multiplayer.
God, the multiplayer was so good. So fucking good. And the Legendary Edition doesn't have the multiplayer. So
yeah, biggest disappointment. Well,
which is
second
so
biggest disappointment after lack of Battle Frontier.
There is no okay, that was pretty funny. They'll bring out in DLC, but
There is no multiplayer in
They're too
Passing
busy
Safe.
making Run Shepherd Run.
Run Shepherd Run.
yeah, so that sort of changes a bit. So like as I'm achievement hunting, because that's who I am and I'm broken, I have to make sure that I'm like doing things that will progress the galactic readiness the most, which kind of fits in with being a renegade anyway. Like it literally gets to a point where it's like, hey, can you sort of help me out and I'll dedicate all my fleets to you? And he's like, no, can you just join my shit? I won't help you. Like it's pretty... there are hard choices. There are some black and white things you have to do, and it sort of forces you in that, like, for example, there's like an alien race that's essentially been castrated, the Krogan, and it's like, do you want to sort of save them and cure their genophage, or do you want to not do that and just sort of like lose all that? And like in that mission, like you have to make some pretty hard choices, like, oh, do you want this character to die, or R.I.P. Morden, still upset.
So what did you do with that? Like, so I assume Rex survived into that playthrough, right?
Yeah, so Rex survived to that playthrough. So
that's rough. So that locks out a couple choices.
Yeah, it does. And so because so the choices you make in Mass Effect 1 to keep Rex alive, and then my choice in Mass Effect 2 to ruin that Solarian, like Data, I can't remember his name.
I want to say, not Maverick.
It does start... Mavis or something? Yeah, look, it does matter.
Melon? Malon starter.
Malon Wick, that's his fucking name. Knew we'd get there. And because I killed his research, Rex comments on that like a fair few times of the mission. He's like, "Oh, I don't get you. Like you blew up the cloning facility in 1, and then but you deleted his research in 2. What are you doing here? Why do you really want to help?" Yeah, and I'm like, "You said you'd come help me in my fleet if I fix this. Like, what do you want,
buddy?
Like, if you don't want me to fix it, like we can go home."
But it gets more complicated than that, because as soon as Rex like, oh, you want to go like cure, you want to go like uncastrate my people, please, and they have 4 testicles, by the way, so that's not easy to do. The head of the alien species that did the castration is like, hey, so if you just want to lie to the big dumb lumbering 4 testicle jackasses and say that you're going to cure it, but then not really, we'll help you out by giving you our best scientific minds. And so I, doing the Renegade playthrough, was like, this sounds like it would fuck over an entire species, let's do it. But the thing was, because I was Renegade through 1 and 2 as well, I'd already killed Rex, and so there's a split. This is spoiling a 10-year-old game, so apologies, I guess. But there's a split, because Rex is smart. Rex is a smart cookie. So if you lie to him, he eventually just confronts you with a shotgun, and you either have to really, if you've got really high relationship and I guess like affinity, either Paragon or Renegade points, you can talk him down. Otherwise, you just get into a shootout with him and you have to kill him. And he's like, bro, you lied to me and you betrayed my people, prepare to die. But if Rex is already dead, he gets replaced with a dumbass called Reeve, who's just he's not even room temperature IQ. He's so much lower than that you can lie to him as I did, and I was expecting a confrontation like Rex. There's none. Reeve has no idea. So I ended up lying and saying that I'd saved the Krogan, which I didn't, and I got all of the sweet Solarian scientists. So I just got maximum galactic readiness points and no downside.
Yeah, nice. That's pretty good. Like I'm really liking it. I like all the choices. It feels.
Wait, liking? So you finished it though, right?
No, I have not. I'm about halfway through, but I have finished it before.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Well,
it's sort of like a placeholder. I wasn't planning on speaking about too much.
Gonna get into the ending chat. All right, no, we'll leave that for another time.
No. I'm liking it so far. All the choices seem like they've got weight, and they all carry through from what I do, but sort of had to wait until next week.
So you haven't done Rannoch then, right?
No, I have not done Rannoch.
Yeah, cool.
I sort of do like how they're there's a lot of callbacks. Like there's always that thing at the start with the Rachni. And it's like, oh, hey, I killed the Rachni Queen in the first one. And it's like, oh, nah, they found a different one. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, all points lead to this kind of hiccup regardless of what you do.
That was the funny one where they just retconned whether or not you killed the Rachni Queen. And they're like, yeah, Rachni's part of the Reaper Force now. Good luck.
Yeah. And we found another one, I swear, bro. It was a race that was wiped out 1,000 years ago, but no, we found another one.
It was under the couch.
Yeah, exactly. We checked under the couch.
Yeah.
Under the fast travel lounge.
Oh.
True.
I have a question for you on Mass Effect.
Yeah, right.
Go for it.
As Commander Shepard, what was your favorite store on the Citadel?
I fucking knew it.
Excellent question.
They changed it a bit in number 3. Like the Citadel becomes a bit more expansive than just like 2 levels it was in number 2.
It now has a Coles.
Well, like you can go to like different areas and Woolworths. You can go like sort of outside into like a courtyard sort of area and talk to your crewmates. You can go to a hospital and talk to a couple of other people that are pretty injured or sick or dying. You can even go to a nightclub as well, Purgatory, whatever it's
There's
called.
a nightclub in number 1 that you have to go to for a quest.
Yeah, but it's more...
it's kind of just a hole in the wall, though.
Yeah, it is a hole, and it's very fucking dated. Like whereas in like the third one, if you go there, there's something different happening there all the time. But yeah, it seems a lot more... there's stuff going on. But my favorite store on the Citadel is the Spectre store because everything is like fucking ridiculously overpriced.
Oh, mine was the JC Penney.
Oh, you don't
even have a JC Penney in Australia.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah. We don't even have pennies in Australia.
No, we don't. We don't even have a JC.
But yeah, long story short, I'm liking Mass Effect 3 so far, or even though I've already played it before.
Sweet.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, no.
You won't believe what he does in the ending.
Pulls out a fuse, throws it in the air, and you're like, wow, which color is it going to be?
My favorite talking points.
Wait a second, is Mass Effect 3 just a gender reveal party?
yeah, but the reveal is for the end of the galaxy though, so it's got pretty high like.
I've seen the ones that start forest fires in America.
Yeah,
same.
This is kind of similar. It starts a forest fire in the galaxy, so I guess little column A, little column B.
But only you can prevent forest fires.
Yeah, it's true. Commander Shepard
can prevent the ending of Mass Effect 3.
Or bring it on.
Playing.
Only you can prevent Andromeda.
True. But yeah, so when you do finish it, begin to talk. Rannoch, I really like. Citadel DLC, I really like. The ending, for all its faults, I think is still interesting to talk about at least. But yeah, Rannoch, I'm a big Rannoch guy. And also,
I thought you were a Patrick guy.
A Ewan guy.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, was there like a second? Like you said that, and I was expecting something funny, and then you laughed. It was like, okay, he's got to follow up. It'll get funny in a sec. Just trust me. And then nothing. Okay, that's fine. We'll just move on. That's cool. Right. Thank you for that, Steve. Next up, why don't we talk about how all of us are dead?
Okay, yeah, I'm
Goals.
I'm good to talk about that. So, All of Us Are Dead is a Korean zombie show that's over on Netflix at the moment. Yeah, this was a pretty interesting show to start off with. So it begins with showing this kid getting bullied on the top of a building, and as he's getting bullied, more and more things start going like a little weird. Like he starts getting a bit feral. And attacking back at the people bullying him. And as he's trying to attack them, he gets knocked off the building and like just falls off the side of it, smacking everything along the way, breaking every bone, and he lives somehow. And that's when we start getting to reveal of this kid's weird, something's wrong with him. And
that was the moment.
Yeah, that was
when
the
he
moment.
walked away from dropping off a building. People like, man, that kid, there's something up with that kid.
The other kids don't know about that. They see him on the floor and they start freaking out. And then we see him like the next day and he's fine with his dad. But
all his bones are healed.
Actually, no. He's in a hospital and his dad goes into the hospital and the kid's alive, and he starts freaking out again, like his bones are cracking, he's trying to get at his dad, and that's when you realize, oh, he's a zombie, he's trying to eat flesh and everything again. And his dad kind of like, frees him and hides him in a bag to try and take him back home, because that's when we find out that the dad is the one that made the zombie virus and used his kid as kind of a test subject.
That's like Full Metal Alchemist levels of.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I was thinking Full Metal Alchemist and Danny Phantom, but I was like, wait, Danny Phantom, they didn't do that deliberately.
Yeah, no, they forgot to turn on the machine and they left the on switch inside. So
Full Metal Alchemist, like one of the scenes most revered for that one scene, or Danny Phantom.
I am a man of duality. What can I say?
The hit protagonist of the smash killer Nick All-Star Brawl.
It's even in Nick All-Star Brawl?
He is.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just spoil little bits of this show. It's revealed pretty early on that he turned his kid into a zombie because it's like his kid's always getting bullied. He never fights back or anything, so he's like doing gene splicing experiments.
He's basically dead, so he may as well make him dead.
No, he's doing gene splicing.
Ain't long for the hard world of corporate capitalism.
He's trying to bring out the animalistic natures of people, and so he's using his kid as
yes, by fusing it with the dog.
No, actually, the thing that we see spread the virus is a rat.
It's a bubonic plague.
Yes. So he's doing this because he wants his kid to like grow a pair and start fighting back because no one else is helping him. He can't help his kid himself besides like injecting him with this virus that'll like.
Is that the two steps? I can't help. I'm not going to go to the teachers. I'm not going to go to the kids'
The teachers
parents.
don't give a shit.
I'm just going to
the teachers
inject.
absolutely do not give a shit. They show multiple times that the teachers know about it and they just brush it under the rug. They're just like,
okay.
Well, you're getting
It do
bullied.
be like that.
You're getting bullied. You must have done something to deserve the bullying.
Stop being weird.
Teachers, yes.
Yeah, that's literally how they handle the situation. It's really fucked up. Yeah, so he's got the rat that's carrying the virus in the school, and one of the girls that was bullying the son at the beginning, she goes into the lab, sees the cage with the rat, plays with it a little bit, and then it bites her. And that starts the entire plague going around everywhere. She's taken to the nurse's office because she's starting to like collapse and get a fever and everything. She bites a nurse, and then is taken to the hospital. Bad call for the hospital, by the way, because that's what gets the outbreak outside of the school.
They didn't know it was an outbreak. To be fair, they just assumed it was a kid that bit an adult. That's it.
Yeah. And after she gets taken to the hospital, that's when the nurse starts turning, and then she starts attacking students, and then it starts this huge outbreak going everywhere. We start following a few students that are like survivors. We see some other kids that were getting bullied. One girl.
Oh my god, it's always bullying.
Yeah, it's
being bullied by zombies. They're throwing their head around.
This show does a lot of social commentary on like how Korean schools handle bullying and social outcasts and stuff. There's this one girl in the show called Yujin, I think. I'm going to butcher some of the names. I'm sorry. She's getting sexually harassed and bullied. So she's about to jump off the roof of the school, and the one kid that's like got a crush on her goes up there, tries to talk her out of it, and before she jumps, that's when a bunch of zombies start jumping out windows trying to attack people outside. So those two stay stuck up on the roof for a little while. And then we follow a bunch of other characters. There's I'll get into some of the names when they're important later. And yeah, it's like it starts off as like a group of 10 students all stuck together trying to make things work. And one of the bullies, Guinam, the absolute shittiest character in this show. I hate him so much. I wanted so many bad things to happen to him, and it did. And then he continued to live afterwards, and that really annoyed me. And yeah, Guinam's kind of like hiding in the cafeteria, and he's using other people as bait so he can keep going and getting further into the school to try and avoid things. And there's this character Chung-sun. He's the main character of the show. he's going to the library and runs into Green Arm there. He headed to the library because he was trying to get a mobile phone so that they could call emergency services and see what's going on to the outside. Those two characters get into a fight. Chong-sun throws him off the top of a bookshelf into a pile of zombies so that Green Arm gets eaten and dies there, and using him as a distraction goes out and saves himself. And that's when we find out that some characters are becoming asymptomatic to the virus. So they've got all the positives of being a zombie, but they're in like full human control of themselves.
Okay, so give me the breakdown of what the positives are, because it sounds like the only positive that I've heard so far is that I don't get bullied.
You don't die, basically. No.
Right, so not getting bullied is still kind of a higher positive than that, right? I mean, let's be real.
he was one with the bullies, so he kind of like lucked out. He had the positive of being the bully, and also, what was that?
If he got eaten,
not like eaten, but like a bunch of bites into him.
So does he have like flesh missing?
Yeah, little bits of flesh missing, like a little chunk in his arms and neck.
And the zombies they're done with him.
And he's missing an eye.
Anymore.
A big part of his quest after being zombified is that he's out to kill Chong-sun because Chong-sun hit him in the eye with a phone and it like smashed it out, like crushed its eye. And now he wants to take Chong-sun's eye out and then kill him.
That's a bit rough.
Like,
I mean, he only lost an eye, right?
For an eye.
Yeah, but an eye for an eye would be that he just takes the eye out, but it sounds like he wants to take things a little bit too far.
I mean, he was thrown into
blind.
He was thrown into a group of zombies, so he basically died himself. So he's going to do the same thing. He's going to take Chong-sun's eye and then throw him into a pit of zombies to watch him die. Is like what his revenge quest is all about. There's also other little things that are in there, like commentary on wealth disparity. Like there's this one character that's on welfare.
Are there some zombies in stick houses?
No, yes, kind of. Wait, we'll get there. There's this one character. Let me get his name. Sorry, it's slipping me at the moment. Gyeong-soo, Han Gyeong-soo. He's on welfare and he's in this I guess it's supposed to be a high class school. And there's another character, Na-yeon, who is a richer kid, and she absolutely despises that Gyeong-soo is in this school because he's on welfare. She's rich. She thinks he's beneath her, and that's when that's when we're also getting into like the sort of social commentary on wealth, and also little bits of showing how shitty people in this situation are going to be. Like she hates him so much, she actually just goes and gets him infected because that's just how much she wants him out of the group. He's under suspicion because it looks like he has his nose started bleeding, and that's one of the early symptom signs of your being turning into a zombie. But it's literally because he smacked a zombie with something, got his face hit by a broom, and he's just started bleeding out of that. But because his nose is bleeding, they're under suspicion for him. They're like, go into this locked room, stay in there for a couple of minutes. And if you start turning, that's how we know that you were bitten, because it takes
minutes in heaven.
If you start turning, then that's how we know.
He'll be in a locked room, so he can't get them if he's in there. That's the kind of the situation.
I know. I just like the calculus of like, all right, we're gonna lock him in a room, and if he turns into a zombie, we'll know that he turned into a zombie.
We'll be safe, he'll be out of the way, sort of thing. And it takes about 5 minutes for someone to turn into a zombie after they've been bitten.
It's really quick turnarounds.
It is, yeah. But he's like, fine, fuck it, I'll stay in there for like a full hour. Like he's being very difficult about it. So about
now he won't come out.
At about the half hour point, a bunch of the students and one of the teachers that are with them is like, look, go in there, apologize like to Na-yeon. They're like, look, go in there, apologize to him, get him out of there for us. And she goes in there, she's like talking to him a little bit, but instead of apologizing, she starts antagonizing him some more. And that situation of where they're one-on-one by themselves is how she gets him infected. I won't say how, It's pretty obvious when it happens though. But yeah.
They start making out.
Nah, nothing like that. But yeah, so that was like still in the early parts where I was like, it's showing all like the worst parts of humanity and the zombie virus like taking over, and I was really interested in seeing like how all these shitty people are handling the situation and how they're all turning on each other, like just not letting go of their personal grievances and being their own downfall.
So it's like Squid Game, but without the cash prize.
Yeah, exactly. I'll need to get to Squid Game eventually as well.
so good.
Nayeon's actress is actually from Squid Game as well.
Okay, I just pulled that out of my ass, but now I sound way smarter.
Yeah, so it's around. It was doing really well for me until around the second last episode, where going into a little bit of a full spoiler is Guinam just gets the whole world for himself in this episode. Characters are making really stupid mistakes, like he finds that one of the someone from like the big group is by himself, and he's like, look, I can smell Chong-sun on you, tell me where he is. And this guy, he doesn't know the other people by name, so he's like, I don't know a Chong-sun, blah blah blah. And so Guinam bites him, like, and it's like starts a zombification process on this dude. And as the guy's starting to turn, that's when he rats out to the rest of the group, telling Guinam where they went. And I'm like, you're turning.
It's already too late, bro.
Yeah, you've been bitten. You're turning. Why are you ratting these people? Why are you ratting out your friends to this guy?
With some kind of dignity, bro.
Yeah.
So the guy that bit him is the one eye guy, right?
Yeah.
How? I don't know if you guys have ever tried to close one eye and then bite anything, but you lose so much depth perception. How do you get bitten by that?
Yeah. It's more that no one's because he's not like showing signs of zombification. People just kind of trust him because he's like talking like a human, acting like a human.
No. Yeah, no, the wrong side, Seth. I'm saying, if I had one eye and I wanted to bite you, it would take me multiple attempts because my depth perception is pretty good, I think, with two eyes. But as soon as it's down to one eye, I don't know.
Yeah, I just chalked it up to.
Then.
I just chalked it up to movie logic. It doesn't need to make that much sense. It's just like when the characters start making stupid decisions, it's where I'm like,
I don't know. I only really get invested in zombie films when they're perfectly accurate.
Yeah, that sounds like a you problem.
All I'm saying is if World War Z doesn't turn into a documentary in the next 5 years, I'll be very disappointed.
What if it's the T-virus?
Where everyone goes around T-posing.
According to Resident Evil, according to Resident Evil Netflix, the T-virus isn't as bad as COVID.
I heard that show was terrible.
I have also heard that show was terrible.
Yeah, I've heard the show was much worse than COVID.
Yeah. You can watch it if you lose your taste from COVID, but...
But yeah, after that, it just spirals into Guinam, like, eventually tracking down the big group and getting his one-on-one fight with Chong-sun that he wanted. And
then he loses horribly and dies.
Both of them lose horribly and die.
Oh, okay. Well, that's half right.
One season show only then.
No, they've confirmed that a second season is coming because it was a big extended cast. Chong-sun being like the main character for most of the season doesn't matter too much because they've got other characters they can lean towards, and they end on a cliffhanger of like one of the asymptomatic characters is still alive, and she's found more asymptomatic people, and like they've been living on their own for like 3 months, I think it was 4 months. Yeah, 4 months. They've been living for 4 months, learning how to live with the virus and try to like overcome like the urge to eat people. So they might lean into that that part of the story as well for a season 2.
So you're just describing the precursor series to Tokyo Ghoul. Is that what I'm hearing?
Ooh, good show.
Possibly.
It was a very good. Well, actually, it was a good show, and then
and then the second one died, didn't it?
God, it was fucking awful.
Oh,
it was so bad.
Tokyo Ghoul is the only thing that I actually have the manga books for.
Tokyo Ghoul was very
interesting.
It was like one of the first, like, It was one of the first ones that like about like it was a couple of flatmates at the time actually were like they were I think it was rewatching it at the time, and I saw bits of it. And I was like, that's kind of interesting. And then I went and
Was it the torture bit?
Oh.
No,
The torture
actually,
bit of the manga is so different, but like
It is, yeah.
it goes forever as well.
it was the church showdown. I don't remember any of the people's names with like the girl that's like Raven from Teen Titans.
Oh my god.
And
I don't remember her name either, but god, that comparison.
and the really dapper bad guy, and they have that super showdown in the cathedral. I think it's been ages. It's actually just been so many years since I've seen it. But damn, what a show though. But no, that's cool. So it sounds like All the Rest of Us Are Dead does the thing where like pretty early on it sets up. This is what we want the show to do, and it's just about how we get to that end point in the show, right?
Yeah, I think so. Pretty much, yeah. It meanders a little bit. Once they start moving the story along, they instantly halt it sometimes. Every time they move out of a location, they're instantly trapped in another location, and you spend an episode figuring out how to get out of that. Yeah, it could have used a little less episodes, like really tightened up the overall show a little bit more. But
so this is gonna be a weird comp to make. But has anyone seen Daybreak?
I have not. Isn't that Monster Hunter?
No, I was going to watch that, but then this is something that I was watching with Trinity, and she's already seen Daybreak. She's actually really pissed that it's not getting a second season.
Is it not? That's very Netflix of it.
Yeah, no, apparently they canned the second season.
It was a pretty good show, actually.
Yeah. But yeah,
you just like it because there's multiple Joshes.
I might watch it on my own at some point. Because that sounded like it was a really good show.
It was like Mad Max mixed with zombies.
Yeah, it was mixed with like Children of the Corn. I really liked what they did.
That's a good one.
In that case, because I was going to make a comment about the last episode of the season, but I'm not going to do that if you're going to watch it.
I know it ends on a cliffhanger.
The main character's name is Josh, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's also there's like that one scene like halfway through the show where they're trying to figure out which Josh they're talking about. Like Josh with the big truck? No, Josh with the little truck.
Basically,
so I guess my question is, Josh, what size truck are you?
Am I in the Cars universe now?
All I'm saying is, if you had to be a big truck or a little truck, what size truck would you be?
I tell people that it's a big truck, but it's really a little truck.
I like trucking, and I like...
It's a little truck when it's cold. I feel you.
When it gets cold, it shrivels into a Miata.
Does it still wink?
Yes.
No. Okay. Cool.
God, yeah. No. Cursed.
Absolutely cursed. I would recommend watching Daybreak. I think if you watch 2 episodes, you'll know very quickly if you'll like the rest of the show or not.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. So just to wrap up. Overall, I think all of Us Are Dead is pretty good. I only just kind of badly spoiled like one storyline in it. There's a lot of other storylines going on, like what's happened with the father in it. There's a detective going around trying to help people.
Did he get his alchemy license revoked?
Maybe.
Detective going around trying to help people. Oh, Rick Grimes.
There's a firefighter that his daughter is trapped in the school, so he's trying to go from a safe place to go back to the school to try and help her. There's some stuff about politicians in there and how they're handling the situation, as well as the military. So there's a lot of stuff I didn't talk about in a show that if it sounds like a show that you'd be into, go ahead and watch it. I think overall I enjoyed it. It's just that second last episode was kind of a bummer to me because the one character I hated got the world handed to him on a silver platter.
All right, cool. Gotta ask, what would you give it out of 10?
Probably a 7. But it would have been higher if it wasn't for Guinam getting everything he wanted.
Fair enough. Cool. Thank you for that, Saif. And finally, on the list for Lounge this week, Final Fantasy, the 7th remake. So this is the 7th remake of Final Fantasy 1? Is that how I'm I'm reading that right, aren't I?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Not to be confused with the other remake of Final Fantasy 1 that came out this year, Stranger of Paradise.
Yeah. No, this one was good.
Yeah, this one's
Got
good.
him.
While this one is good, while Stranger of Paradise is goated.
Only
Okay,
you think that.
good recovery. Good recovery. Ball's back in Josh's court.
I got nothing.
No competing with the best baby.
One love.
I was all right, and Saif to serve. Now, I was going to jump in with you've got nothing, just like your thoughts on Stranger of Paradise, I guess. But no, right. So Final Fantasy VII Remake. Obviously, this is the seventh Final Fantasy remade, not the first one. We alluded to it last week.
Seventh Final Fantasy remade after the remaster, but it's only the first disc of that game. It's not even the
Not even
first
the
disc
first
of that
disc,
game.
it's the first 3 hours.
Yeah, it was probably a little bit longer
I
than
like
3
how-
hours. It's like
yeah, it's
4 or
like-
5.
Yeah, every time we talk about it, we say less and less.
Yeah.
It's the first 10 hours of the game. It's the first 5 hours of the game. It's the first 2.
It's the first game director's mixtape of of the first hour of content.
It's the opening cutscene.
It's the Squeenix logo when you boot it.
It's somehow they turned the title screen into a 30-hour story.
We're making it sound like the MCU at this point.
Yeah, I'm getting confused, I'll be honest with you. And I've played the original Final Fantasy VII, which is a very good game.
Did you play the remaster or the original?
Imagine playing the original when there's a perfectly good remaster to play.
The remake isn't on Xbox, so of course he didn't play it.
He's right.
So you played the remaster. Okay.
No, I have not played the remaster.
What? No. The remaster is the one that came out to Xbox. There was a remaster, and then there was
there's
the
a
original.
sorry,
on the
remaster,
PS1.
remake. It's the same word in my vocabulary. Yeah, the upgraded version that has a fast forward button.
Yes, the one that runs in at least 1080p. Yeah.
Yes, it's good. I liked it. So this is what we're talking about.
Yeah, let's
no,
talk about the original Final Fantasy VII remake.
Mad
Remaster.
finally.
We're talking about the first 4 hours of that game. Keep
Well,
up.
I thought we were talking about the Final Fantasy VII remake and the Final Fantasy VII remaster, which is basically just Final Fantasy 14, right? Because 7 plus 7 equals 14.
God, no.
It
No,
does
you
have the
said
golden
must have.
saucer.
No.
It does have the golden saucer and chocobo racing.
The remake does not have the golden saucer.
No, but it. But
Is the remake the old one or the older one?
Patrick mentioned
New one.
mentioned a remaster, and that has the golden saucer.
Can we start now?
No.
So no, like we haven't
go
started
ahead.
talking about Final Fantasy VII, right?
No, not yet. We've just been running in circles, making bad jokes.
Right. Okay, cool.
So anyway,
that's the
there's
same
this
as
chick, and
all
she's
of
in the
episode
Italian
35.
Senate.
Oh God.
Wow, that was a good one.
Please stop.
I know Tifa's earned my vote after that.
Oh.
See, the sad part is I'm suppressing every urge to say, "Don't believe me. Look up Tifa Italian Senate." Don't do that.
Unless you want to, in which case there's probably direct links to the video somewhere on Twitter.
I'll put it in the description.
Actually, Seth, just play it during the video portion of this on YouTube. Oh man. Well, the good news is if we continue derailing this conversation for a further 3 minutes, it'll be 7 minutes until we can talk about Final Fantasy VII.
7 seconds until the end, Josh.
No, stop this. We're talking about this. Okay, so yeah, start us off, Seth.
Wait, why me? This is your week.
What? No, this is your week as well. You're still on your week.
Oh, no, because you. I just replayed the game on hard mode, so I was going to let you lead off since this is like your first experience and run through of the game. So take it away.
Okay.
Oh my god, I can't believe Josh is literally album of the weeking you with Final Fantasy VII.
I know, right?
Album of the week in you.
Wow, that's weak. So Final
That's the
Fantasy
idea, it's album of the week.
Can I start now?
No.
Okay, so
Come on, Steve. We'll go make our own chat and talk about something else.
Mass Effect 3, alright, man. we're back to it.
Yeah. See you guys in 7 minutes.
That will be fun to edit. 2 different conversations happening at the same time in 2 different channels.
Not my job, big fella, not my job. Anyway, sorry, Josh. Final
the trick
Fantasy
is
7.
the trick is Mass Effect 3 in the left ear, Final Fantasy 7 in the right ear.
I mean,
So
yes.
that's a 10 total then.
wow, 3D audio.
I just mean it'll be fun to edit it.
You're gonna have to mix it into a stereo track now. Oh no.
Mix it. What are we, bacon? Sorry. I'm not sorry, actually.
Please stop. Okay, so as we said, Final Fantasy's Remake is the first between 3 and 6 hours of the original game, which was then remastered and is now being remade from the ground up.
The entirety of the Midgar section of the game.
Exactly, yeah. So it just literally takes you through everything that you do in Midgar, adds a whole bunch of things that never happened in the original and sort of spices up and mix things around a little bit to the point where they introduce Sephiroth, which wasn't introduced at that point of the game, which, to be fair, it was the first 4 hours of the game. So you don't really start by showing off the final boss, who in this one is basically the boyfriend of Cloud.
Yeah, they allude to his existence in the first game. I don't think they even really mention him until you're in the Shinra building, and that's when they do the big reveal of Sephiroth's sword in the back of President Shinra after he's been murdered.
Yeah, but you don't see Sephiroth.
No, you don't see him
just the
himself.
sword.
You just hear about him, and then you're like, oh shit, that's Sephiroth's sword. He's supposed to be dead.
Why is the sword twice as tall as him? Why is
So
his
you can cut
music so
people-
dope?
So you can cut people 5 miles away.
Masamune, right? The name of the sword?
Yep.
Hey.
Hey.
You ever? He's literally doing the "I'm gonna hit you with a 10-foot pole" meme.
Wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. However,
A 10-foot sword. Now you're speaking my language.
Please excuse me while I dislocate my shoulder to unsheath it.
Yeah. There's a specific cutscene in the remake where basically Cloud has to take off his sword to sit down on the little benches that they use as healing stations and save points. The idea of Sephiroth trying to do that is hilarious to me.
There's also a cutscene in the game where Cloud sees a vision of Sephiroth, goes to slash at it, and just hits the top of a door frame and eats shit.
Yeah, that was really good. I don't really know how to take the game, how to explain the game. But for anyone that hasn't played or seen it, it is basically the original, but taken more of a action RPG approach. You basically have your attack buttons. You still have your quote unquote commands that you do. You just basically kind of slow down time to the point where it's basically paused to then execute them, and then you can do combos from there.
Yeah, most
you
of
still
your
have
main attacks are basically used just to drive up the ATB gauge, so you can do bigger damage with all your commands.
Pretty much, yeah. You still have a limit gauge, but in this one, rather than building it up slowly over a whole bunch of different battles or whatever and using it for one big one, you use it for that battle, and if you don't use it, then it fades away once that battle completes. So you have way more of a reason to actually use the limit breaks now, which I actually think is a good thing.
Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of items in the game, once you get into the later game, that's specifically built around charging it up even faster, so you can pull off multiple per battle, big battle.
And there's obviously new ones added, what was it called? Recast or something?
Refocus.
Refocus. That basically adds more to your ATB gauge, so you can do more things more fancy. They swapped a couple of things around in terms of summons and stuff like that. So I don't really know how it was in the original game, but from my understanding, you didn't have summons for the first half of the game, and then you kind of just used them only for bosses. Is that right?
No, summons were introduced around the same time, I think. I think you get the Ifrit materia around the same point. The thing is that they take up a materia slot in the original game, so a lot of people would either use them as a big magic attack, or they just not use them at all because they took up a slot that could have been better used for a cure or something instead. Right. But in this remake, they have their own dedicated materia slot per character.
Yeah, which is quite good. And there's enough summons that you can obviously share that around, which is good. You can also only in this one do summons basically when the game decides that you can. So there are certain fights where you can use it and fights where you just can't.
It's based on arena
really
size.
Find logic on it. Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Yeah, that's basically all I really have to say on the changes. Do you have anything to add, Saif?
Story-wise changes. This isn't just a straight remake of the original game. The name remake is being very literal in that they're remaking Final Fantasy VII. This is taking the End of Evangelion movies approach, where they're hitting a lot of similar story beats at around the same time, but there's a lot happening on underneath that's like changing a lot of things until they hit like this crescending point of like, no, this is just going to flat out make a diverging path of the original story now, and everything is changing.
I need to watch those Neon Genesis movies.
I
as an
have
aside.
not.
as well,
I just
actually.
know about them.
I need to
alright
watch them. I watched the anime. I haven't watched the movies yet.
Yeah, no, the movies are also similar to this remake.
Yeah, so I think it was really good. I think I don't know. I really like turn-based combat games like a lot. So to take that away to me was a bit upsetting. But I think they did a good enough job in this to justify it being this way. And I understand the appeal of it being more people would prefer this type of combat.
It's
So,
supposed to be.
I
It's a
understand.
lot like because I played the demo fucking like 2019 when it came out, and it definitely because there is like a turn-based mode you can sort of set it to, but all
Yeah,
it does
that's
is sort of
garbage,
like
though.
it pauses the combat, and it's like, well, be an action game or be a turn-based, so you can't obviously do both.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
trying to do a blend of both, like in this one battle system. So you're doing the obvious like action RPG, like get engaged with the fights, do dodge rolls, do blocks when you can, and as all of those are serving to fill up the ATB bar, which is more of like the turn-based kind of approach. And you've got to be aware of when you're using that bar as well, because you could like throw off a magic attack, but you can be hit out of the magic attack. It'll deplete your MP for starting to charge, but because you got hit out of it, it won't follow through, and that'll just be a waste of bar and MP. Which is very punishing, and also like trying to keep you like still in that action mindset of being aware of your surroundings and what you're doing.
There is, as Steven said, quite literally two modes though, where there is the action RPG approach, and the second one, which I think you're talking about, Steven, is what they call like the classic mode, and quite literally it does the action RPG stuff on autopilot, and you just sit there and choose commands.
Yeah.
That's the mode that I tried to start with, and the moment it explained exactly what it is, I'm like, no, I hate this.
Yeah, no, it's not
So
a good.
I
It's not a
changed it back
good.
immediately.
It's not a good approach.
No, I was like, I want a
Yeah, it
turn-based
sounds-
approach, so I looked at it and it was like, oh, there's still action RPG, it's just done automatically, and I'm like, no, like, there's no way I'm doing that.
Yeah, that sounds.
Shithouse, yeah.
It literally seems like you're trying to get the best of both worlds, so you get nothing.
I think they were just trying to appease the people that, like me, that would have been like, not turn-based game.
Yeah, but not everything has to be a turn-based game.
No.
No,
And
but
like
it's
I said,
also
I
Isn't
been
enjoyed
everything
this.
a turn-based game when you really think about it? If
It's
you
been
really distill
it's
it.
been a very long time since Square Enix has done a AAA turn-based game, and it would be nice for them to do that again. Like
Would
all
be.
their
Maybe
efforts
that
have
would
been
be
in
good.
like at most AA, with like Octopath
Like the batteries?
Traveler or World of Final Fantasy, which is a game I really enjoyed.
I will say about the combat that some of the characters are just bland as fuck. Like Barrett was so boring. I loved Barrett as a character, but his combat style was boring as batshit.
Yeah, Barrett's very plain. I also find Aerith to be a bit bland.
Aerith
She's
was
got
bland,
a bit
but
going
she
on
had
underneath.
some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, she has a lot of cool stuff going on underneath the hood, but there's a lot of support stuff and like making.
Underneath the hood. What is she, a car?
Yes, I think she gets more fun as you start giving her more MP to play around with, so she can do
Yeah.
like her double casting and everything much more frequently.
Yeah, so she was okay. Like she was like pretty much like middle of the pack for me. Barrett was the worst. Cloud was probably the second worst for me. I really didn't like him. And top was Yuffie and Tifa. Like they were so much fun.
I actually
So much fun.
I think that like Cloud's the third for me because it's Yuffie at top now, then Tifa, then Cloud. I like Cloud's jack of all trades approach. He does a lot of things really well, and a lot of his abilities are really fun to use.
Yeah, I thought Aerith was a bit more fun than Cloud. But yeah, definitely Yuffie, then Tifa for me. And then probably Aerith, then Cloud, and then Barrett. So
Yeah,
basically
and-
the same as you, just swapping around Cloud.
Yeah, and Yuffie. Oh my god, they did. So Yuffie was introduced with the DLC for that came to the PS5 version of the game, and because of that, they've put in like a 60 FPS mode, which means that they're also doing things to make this more of an like leaning more towards an action game, where they've decided to give her a perfect block parry system, and that's done so much to improve the battle system for me. Like giving a block that actually completely negates
Actually
damage.
blocks. Yeah.
Like the block originally was just to turn damage into chip damage. This just completely negates things, and some of her weapons like give her bonuses. Like one of them, I think, it gives her regen if she does a perfect block. Another gives her barrier and mana wall. They're just a lot of fun to play with, and all of her abilities are great.
Yeah, she's very fun. I noticed that when you were playing, because I was watching you play on your stream that you're doing, and I was very up and in your face constantly. You were a bit more sort of taking back in the magic approach, but she was being able to play around like constantly
That was also
differently.
because I was playing the game on hard mode.
Yeah, we're also playing on hard, yeah.
Where dying is very easy in hard mode, so I was like being cautious, and then you're like,
Skill issue.
And Yuffie's glass cannon is fucked to start with.
yeah, but then
Absolutely filtered.
you mentioned that, and I was like, wait a second, this battle I'm in is on normal mode, and that's when I flipped the switch and just started going in on all the enemies straight away.
It's so much fun. And then you finish that fight in like the next 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was very good. Like the DLC, I don't think it was worth whatever they wanted you to pay for it.
I think
it was
it was
like extremely
25.
short. Yeah, I don't think that's worth that. That's like
I've already
that's like
gotten
half
like
of what I pay for most games. And
I've
it was,
already gotten like
5
10 hours into it. I haven't even finished all the content yet, so I think $25 was worth it.
Nah, you're doing side piece games that they programmed in like Gwent, and it's like 0 out of 10.
What the fuck are you talking about? Gwent is a...
They've also added a few extra special boss fights, one of them for the main game, so I get to load back into a save file with Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, and Barrett and try to take on... They show him in the cutscenes, Weiss the Immaculate, the guy that's sitting in the throne, and they're trying to copy his VR data. They actually do that, and you can do a fight against him in VR.
Okay.
Oh,
There you
VR.
go.
I know someone that's got VR.
It's great. Beat Saber's 10 out of 10. Highly recommend.
I wasn't talking to you.
Oh.
But yeah,
I'm joking, I was.
some of the story stuff they do in the Yuffie DLC is kind of weird because they're introducing Dirge of Cerberus characters really early into the story now. Nero and
Much
Whis.
to one of our mutual friends, like anger.
Yeah.
I don't think anger's a strong enough word.
Wait, is Dirge of Cerberus the Battle Royale one?
No,
can't keep
Dirge of
up.
Cerberus is the game about Vincent that was on the PS2
Oh,
years
yes,
ago.
yes. Okay, that's the Vincent. Like the third-person shooter they made.
Yeah. Which those characters aren't meant to be introduced for like years in this in this
a while.
timeline. And just suddenly they're like, oh, here's a Yuffie DLC where she's doing stuff while the bombing of Midgar is the plate drop
Dropping
of
the
Sector
plate,
7
yeah.
is happening, and she's already meeting the Deep Ground characters and having her own little adventure where one of her partners dies because of Deep Ground.
Yeah, that
And
was interesting.
I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to say that Sonon dies because in the original game, Sonon isn't around.
Whoa, don't need to play this
He
game.
doesn't exist, so
He doesn't exist in like the original timeline at all. So it's like, oh, hey, there's this character that doesn't exist. He's gonna die.
yeah, that was literally my reaction. I was like, he wasn't in the original game. Oh, he's gonna die. I really
do
liked
like
as well
the-
that
I do like a lot of the
You,
characters they added in this DLC though. Like this main branch of Avalanche is
yeah,
pretty
that's what I was
cute.
gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that they have them like join with the main branch of Avalanche very temporarily for her part of this little story, and then they're talking about like, hey, I think we should team up with the other guys. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I was like,
like-
that's cool.
Because they're from Wutai, they've been at war with Midgar for a while, and like their outlook on how to handle the situation is more extreme. So they're like, yeah, this main branch of Avalanche isn't extreme enough for us. What the other guys are doing sounds more up our alley.
Yeah, literally bombing the reactors. Yeah, no, we're down. Also, very quickly before we move on, Yuffie's main outfit reveal, 10 out of 10.
My last thing before we move on is that I love that this game has an actual 10 out of 10 white woman moment.
In which moment?
It's when Yuffie and Sonon are on the elevator. They have to hold it so
Oh,
that Scarlet
yes.
can get in. Scarlet takes one look at Yuffie and instantly starts to shit talking Wutai. Like she can smell the foreigner on her. She even flat out calls her a foreigner to her
Yeah.
face. It's like straight up middle-aged woman, white woman moment.
She's like literally the whitest person in the entire game.
I can't wait
Okay,
for this
well-
game to come to Game Pass. Oh,
It'll
you're
be
on video,
great.
fellas. But in like 10 years' time after they said they have all three of them.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
about to say that when
once
they
all three
release
are
the
released.
trilogy.
once the entire trilogy is released and has been out on PlayStation for like 2 years.
I can't wait for this one. So there's been the original game, then the integrated remake, and then so there's been the original game, the remaster, the remake, the PS5 remake, the PC port, and then the separate DLC for PS4. They're making so much money off people buying this game. And then there's going to be 2 more games that are probably going to have extra DLC added and probably in a separate package as well. Then they'll sell a triple pack. And then there'll probably be actually, what was it? Were they remaking Crisis Core as well?
Yeah, they're remaking Crisis Core this year.
So Dirge of Cerberus will probably come at some point.
Man, you want to talk
so
about
much stuff.
You want to talk about how much they milk Final Fantasy 7? Just go down the list of everything they've ever done with that game.
Yeah, true.
Like,
they'll probably
redo
the movie as well.
It's a franchise within the Final Fantasy franchise. Like, 7 is its own universe at this point.
Yeah, too much. Okay. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. Good game. I'd give it probably an 8.5.
I give it like a 9. There's a few things that are problems. Like, I was replaying it on PS4. The PS4 version is not the version you should be playing anymore. Those load times are hell. But no, overall, it's a very enjoyable game. I love it to bits.
Cool.
All right.
Oh shit, was I on mute for that whole time?
Yeah,
Maybe.
Probably.
Oh,
Now you have to say
I had so many nuanced points to add to the discussion of Final Fantasy VII Remake, a game that I've never played. Shit. Oh well. I might just record some soundboard effects and then Saif can sprinkle them through.
I'll have
where
you know it's on
beforehand.
Steam.
I'll have you know. I actually do kind of care. Damn.
I don't think it is on Steam, is it? Isn't it just on Epic Games?
No, it was on Epic Games last December. It came to Steam a couple months ago, like last month.
Oh.
Yeah, the
is it still
exclusivity window ended.
$125 on Steam?
115 at the moment, but yeah.
Fuck.
Oh,
no, I
deal.
don't not pay that.
PC. You reckon my laptop could run it, Josh?
No, fuck no.
I reckon it could.
Not even close.
It could run Tabletop Simulator. My laptop can run anything.
You know what it can run? Fable Anniversary that's on sale for $15.
Why would it's on Game Pass? I literally own that as well.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, like I was actually
Okay.
because I'm packing up all my stuff because I'm moving and I'm like, Fable Anniversary.
Ooh, I can play that, yeah. It's
And I've
no
got
Fable 2, but you know.
Well, I've got Fable 2 and Fable 3 as well.
Ooh,
I'm like,
ooh. Fable 3, oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, let's leave it at that. Oh, the itch is taking me. I have to fucking go play it now. Oh, no.
Sorry.
Every fucking... Ah!
Time to get all the achievements on the,
I already did.
I know.
Actually, not for number 3 because you got to do a bunch of like multiplayer, like give me it, let me trade for card bullshit.
Just like trading the dolls in number 2, but you managed that one.
I got that.
Sounds like an excuse to me, mate.
You didn't get it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's move on before the itch takes me.
Shit, sorry, I think I was on mute again. Fuck, I had there was so much Fable chat that I was going to get into. No, it's we'll leave it for another week. That brings us to the end of Round of Lunch for this week. Amazingly, it hasn't gone over 2 hours, so doing well, boys. Well done.
I can oink for half an hour if you'd like.
I got a couple of topics I could talk about that no one cares about.
So anyway,
Talk about Monster Hunter for another hour.
No
we
thanks.
get to move on to
We can
part
start
2 for this
predicting
week,
what's going to happen at the Pokemon Direct.
which
We can
is
keep interrupting Patrick.
of course the news. And starting off, the first multiple articles. Apparently, so here's the thing, right? So, cost of living's going up, rent's going up, food's going up. You know what else is going up? Annapurna's money to spend on porting every game.
Yeah, so there was a small indie game called Stray. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it did very well.
Hey,
I
where's
heard
the
you play
Stray
as a
review?
cat in that game.
Where's my Stray review? That's a good point. I haven't talked about Stray. I definitely can next week.
Next week for sure. You said that last week, so this week,
forgot.
next week for sure.
Oh my god, it's been a while since we've baited the audience 3 episodes in a row.
I know, right?
You won't
Next week
believe
it
what he
is.
says. You won't believe what he says next time.
Yeah, we need to get like a thumbnail of me doing like one of those like shocked faces. Perfect.
And behind it, just me punching in the back of the head.
Listen, we don't,
Honestly, would make a good thumbnail.
We don't support coward punching around here.
Josh
I would
said
if we
what?
could get those clicks. Let's go.
He was talking shit about Final Fantasy 14.
All right,
Anyway, so
all right, he's off the podcast.
I was talking shit about Metallica. Boom, 2 million views.
okay, so real quick on that. I know we're just about to talk about Annapurna, but I just heard a really funny fact relating to that. So everyone knows and loves, except you, Josh, the Eddie shredding Metallica in Stranger Things, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
I know this fact.
Based on when that song came out and when it was filmed, Eddie, without the help of the internet or any other kind of teaching someone how to play music back in the 80s, managed to learn and shred that within, I think, 3 weeks.
It is possible it was up to 3 months because Metallica played Master of Puppets at a concert in December the year before.
That's pretty cool.
So
I
if you got a
really
bootleg,
thought this was a special fact, but
if he got
fine.
a bootleg and listened to it by ear, he would have taught himself the song by ear in like 3 months.
Another fact is that the Metallica guys, I don't know which one of them or if it was all of them, went and gave a guitar to that character, or the actor that played the character, and like jammed with him.
Yep.
Recently.
It was the entire band. He went
Entire
and
band,
saw
there you
them backstage, and they presented him a guitar and all signed it for him.
Could he
That's
actually
kinda
play
cool.
guitar?
Yeah. He actually learned how to play the song on guitar.
Oh,
For
that's
the bit.
it.
Yeah.
For the show, he learned how to play the song on guitar.
I think it would have been really funny if he just if the entire thing was just kind of
Metallica
Done.
didn't even know that he couldn't play it. That'd be
yeah,
funny.
exactly, just done in post. Anyway, so Annapurna. sorry to change
I
tax
have,
real
I have
quick.
one last fun Metallica fact.
Of course you do.
They're great.
Because most people that are younger than us probably wouldn't know, and some of us might not know. Lars Ulrich literally basically brought down Napster single-handedly and started suing people for pirating his music.
Yeah,
that's right,
I know
yeah.
about that. Metallica is really bad about like music copyright.
They're fucking horrible with it. So yeah, it's wild that someone played a copy of one of their songs and it became popular, and they're like, hey, we'll give you a guitar, but if anyone else plays it, we'll fucking sue you.
Well, see,
that's-
the Stranger Things crew went through the proper channels and like paid them so they could put it on
A
the show.
lot of money, yeah.
I was going to say that's the Nintendo approach, right? Do not,
Yes.
under any circumstances, take our music in any way.
Unless you're paying us millions.
Anyway,
Take
so
those drums
Annapurna.
down.
Okay, no, I was expecting another interruption. So Annapurna,
So then what?
shut up. Spending a whole bunch of money. They're bringing Outer Wilds, which we talked against by Will about last week. I'm sure we'll talk about that more in depth at some point, particularly if Josh gets around to playing more than the
Is
first
definitely on the list.
cycle. To also bait the viewers, because I think I said that I would talk about that this week. Might talk about that next week, might not. But the more I think about it, the more I like the game. So stay tuned.
I lost the game.
There we go. So Outer Wilds is being ported to a bunch of platforms. I don't know if it's worth going through each one.
Solar Ash as well, which looks really interesting to me. I still need to play it myself, but they made Hyper Light Drifter before. That was also fantastic, and I've heard
good
mixed
things.
things. I've heard mixed things about Solar Ash, so I want to give that a try for myself.
And then also the Pathless is also part of the trio of ports. If any of those games sound interesting, Outer Wilds would highly recommend. Look up if it's available on your platform, because if it's not now, I'm sure it will be soon.
Yeah, they're
One thing worth
basically coming to
mentioning-
everything, all these games.
Yeah.
One thing worth mentioning very quickly before we move on is that which one is it? The Pathless was done by Giant Squid, which are the same people that did Abzu. So if you liked Abzu, this seems like a very similar kind of game.
I was gonna bring that up as a meme. I didn't realize it was Giant Squid.
You're telling me
I was gonna say the art style looks exactly like Abzu.
You're
Yeah,
telling me
well,
a
it's the
shrimp
same
fried
people.
this game?
But then, well, Abzu's good. If you haven't played that, you should definitely play that too.
Abzu was excellent. Anyway, yeah, that's all the that's the Annapurna corner roundup for this week. Next up in the list, we have Grounded being launched September 27. I don't know much about this, but it sounds like you guys do. Multiplayer survival.
I tried to play it when it was first, quote unquote, released in early access, and there wasn't enough to do.
I've
Like,
seen
we had
people
the,
play it. I saw the anti-arachnophobia mode, and it's just take legs off spiders until you can get to like no legs on the spider, and it's just a massive
Roll
orbs.
it around.
Yeah. So essentially, Grounded is like you're a bunch of kids in a backyard that have been shrunk, and you've sort of got to like.
Yeah, so if you've ever seen
Honey,
that
I
movie,
Shrunk the
Honey, I Shrunk
Kids.
the Kids, yeah,
Yeah, it's that, but in
Or-
video games.
that on roids, yeah.
Or like Stuart Little, but you're playing as the mouse.
They're much smaller than Silver
Yeah, I
Little.
guess so. I don't think that's right, but yeah, sure.
Honestly, it was kind of fun.
It Takes Two, but there's 4 of them.
It takes 4.
It's more of like a survival builder kind of game.
Okay, so what if it was like Valheim, but they just shrunk them down?
I haven't played Valheim.
Valheim was good. Yeah, I guess you could draw comparisons.
Someone told me it's more Minecraft.
It's like Minecraft, but the units of measurement are tiny.
There's
Yeah,
less
sure.
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob in Minecraft. SpongeBob in Grounded.
Eventually, one of these has got to stick. Anyway, so
Yeah.
even though there wasn't much to do, are you still interested in it? Does it still hold your attention? You went to see what happens?
Yeah, it's an Obsidian game, so I definitely want to give it a go now that it's when it fully releases, and it's on Game Pass, so it doesn't cost me anything.
Game Pass.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, if you play it, Josh, let's play co-op.
Yeah, I'll be down.
Uh,
Also coming to Steam.
and the Epic Game Store as well, isn't it?
Probably.
I don't think so.
I'm just assuming that's the way most things go nowadays.
Oh, no, it'll
Right.
be on the Microsoft Store. Sorry, no, you're right.
Yeah, it's on the Microsoft Store and the PC version of the thing. But Microsoft also said they'd bring all their games to Steam, which they're doing. So I don't see why they would put it on Epic. I don't know.
To capture
Another
the one person.
Another storefront. That one person that only buys off Epic Game Store.
Bring back
So
Origin.
they're gonna have to swap. Oh, please
Absolutely
God, no.
not.
Bring
Yeah,
back
the
games
name
for
of
Windows
Origin.
Live, honestly.
There's been a
Oh,
lot of
God.
Josh takes said, and
Yeah.
those trumpet easily.
Bringing back games for Windows Live. That sounds like absolutely hell on earth. Please do not even remind me that existed.
I personally prefer the I think it was Driver 76 that required Uplay and games for Windows Live.
There's a
Maybe
few
that's
games
what
I
you
played
play.
that required Uplay and games for Windows Live.
Yeah, that was a time. Now here I am with 15 Azure certs, all on the back of trying to get that fucking game working.
All right, and now here's my Patrick impression. And next on the list.
That was shit. Let me show you how it's done. And now next on the list, so there we go. More inflection, more
energetic.
grandiose voice. Yeah,
Oh, well,
a little bit.
you know
more
what,
life
it's-
in the voice.
I think just less shit in general, to be honest. Anyway, so Goat Simulator 3.
I wasn't holding a sheep, sorry.
Unlike Dead Island 2, this game has a release date.
Wow.
Oh my god, there's a physical
Hurtful.
edition of this game. That's
Yeah,
wild.
and it's
Yeah.
called Goat in a Box.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
And it comes with a
I'm on
goat.
board.
Yeah, that little goat plushie actually looks adorable.
It does. This is the first time I think I've wanted a physical game in a while. And I
It's-
have no
it's
interest in
weird.
Goat Simulator.
It's weird seeing someone take a joke this far.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you know what I mean? Like, Goat Simulator 1 comes out and everyone's like, okay, haha, we're making fun of all the simulators out there, that's funny. Goat Simulator 3, because they're skipping over Goat Simulator 2, haha. And it comes in a
Trailer
physical
being
special
fucking
edition,
excellent.
haha. Like, now I'm probably going to pre-order it, haha.
Not pre-order, pre-utter.
My favorite part about this is that someone said, wouldn't it be funny if we did a Goat in a Box? And someone from their marketing department had to take it seriously and ended up with this. Just imagine being that person with that very specific job.
Honestly, it's the same energy as Cards Against Humanity, where you could buy a more expensive version of the game, which did nothing. It was literally like they told you, they said, this is a more expensive version of the game. If you buy this, you will get nothing extra. It just gives us more money. And so enough people did that they were like, okay, well, now we have a lot of money. And I think they bought golden dildos for a few people just for fun.
Wild.
And then I think they used the rest of their money to market during the they bought Super Bowl ads with the amount of money they had.
Oh my
And
god.
It was just dumb. I'm sure this was Cards Against Humanity. It's been ages, but so two of the ones, if I'm right, two of them that Cards Against Humanity did. One was they bought a they bought a Super Bowl halftime ad. The most expensive television piece you can buy.
Time slot, yeah.
And it was a picture of a potato just sitting on the ground. It played for 20 seconds, and it had
Oh my
buy
god, I
our
was drinking
game
water
written
and
on
it came out my nose.
That's
Thank
what
you,
you get for
Patrick.
drinking on the podcast.
And the other one, this one now I'm not so sure it was Cards Against Humanity. I think it was, but every time someone bought the special version of the game, they just paid a contractor with a digger to just continue digging a hole in a field somewhere. And so they just
God damn it.
it's just this giant hole. But you think about it and you're like, man, Cards Against Humanity, they know what they're doing.
I mean,
That's
that is a good
marketing that
marketing
sells.
strategy, honestly.
Well, think
If
about
they-
it. That's
if they
the only
live
thing I
streamed
remember
that,
from
that hole.
No, I think they did. That's why I'm not sure, because I don't think that
Damn.
one. I don't think that one was the Super Bowl ad. I think they only did one Super Bowl ad, and the other one was just a live stream of someone digging a hole while they still had money coming in.
That's excellent,
Which-
honestly.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's the only thing I
would
remember
literally
from.
buy it just to see my shovel get dug,
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. Is that the marketing worked because I still remember it, however many years later. Oh, and the golden dildos. Can't forget the golden dildos.
I'm sorry,
That's
I'm
just
looking
a
through
status
this.
symbol.
I'm looking through the contents of this Goat Simulator 3 stuff. The PC,
Oh, that's right. We're talking about Goat Simulator.
the PC edition of the game comes with a 3D printer file for something.
Probably a goat.
Yeah,
something.
like it's obviously going to be a goat, but like some sort of goat.
Maybe. Whoa. Hold
It
on.
might
Hold
not
on.
be a goat at all. People would just assume it's a goat.
Guys,
You're
there could be
right.
anything. There could be anything in that 3D printer file. It could
It
even
could
be a boat.
3D printer file. It could even be a boat.
You know how much we wanted
Where's
a
your
boat?
boat?
Alternatively,
Here, get the boat.
That's actually a pretty good accent.
That was
never
probably
do
one
that
of the best
again.
lowest
Or
ones.
alternatively, wait for us to stop recording and then do it. I have plans for that voice. Anyway, I think we're all focusing too much on the
It's yell
goat part
after
of
dark.
Goat Simulator. We're all focusing too much on the goat part of Goat Simulator. It could be a 3D printer file for Simulator.
Would it be a 3D printer file of one of the zombies from the Dead Island game that got cancelled? Or what was it? It was a Dead Island?
It's not cancelled. It's just in development hell.
It's just exactly.
What should be a 3D print of the entirety of Dead Island 2? Like pre-finished.
It's a physical
You-
goat coin.
You 3D print a disc with the game files on it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, with the encoding and everything. That'd be
That'd be
sick.
sick. You'd have to have such an expensive 3D printer.
Also, we never actually said, but it's coming out November 17.
I absolutely opened with that.
Oh god, I completely missed it because of all the goat jokes that happened right away.
So I guess we can say that number 3 is going to be the goat.
Simulator.
All right.
The third. Ain't
All right, let's
no,
move on.
ain't no Billy the Kid's goat gruff. Other goat references and memes in this house.
Quick price check on Australian PSN. It's $40 for the standard edition, $55 for the deluxe.
See, that's right at the price point where I'd seriously consider it.
No, don't. Never
Honestly,
pre-order.
same.
No, fellas, no. I'm telling you, that goat plush is probably cursed or something. It'll get you.
Pre-ordering
Alternatively,
games live on the podcast just to upset Steve.
It's your money. You're pissing away your money, fellas. These are tough times we're living in.
alternatively, hear me out, Steve. Counterpoint: the apocalypse is coming, and everyone that doesn't have a goat plushie goes straight to the Shadow Realm.
All right, let's see
Well, I guess,
EB
I'll
Games,
just
see if they have
bash you
Goat
for yours.
Simulator up there, see the price comparison.
It's probably harder to find than a PS5.
You know what? They were in stock today.
Yeah, for
$100 for the Goat in the box
the.
edition.
Let's everybody talk at the same time.
I want to run through quickly what the DLCs were for the first one, just to give us an idea of what the DLCs might be for the third
Steve
one.
saying that as the only person talking at that one particular time.
So the first one was Goat Simulator Goat Z, which was a DayZ DLC. The second one was a Payday DLC, and the third one was Waste of Space, which was a Star Wars ripoff DLC. Who knows what we can get for the third one?
We could get anything, even a goat.
It could even be better than the
Hey, neighbor,
Minecraft
where's your
SpongeBob
goat?
crossover. Where's your goat? God damn it.
So if you want a plush goat, it'll be $100.
Jokes on you, I could go to Build-A-Bear and build it for $300.
Jokes on you. I could just pirate the 3D printer file and then print it for $400.
You probably wouldn't be able to do it at Build-A-Bear because it's you have to go to Build a Goat.
I'm done with this.
I
Next
said-
story.
do you think Build-A-Bear gets upset when you bring your own goat to stuff?
Your own goat.
They just get upset because it's still living.
Okay, that's it. I've had enough.
Oh god, I was going to make a joke, but it's so cursed. I don't
No,
even
stop.
want to.
Come back.
No, move
Anyway,
on.
You have to
No,
stick to
no,
the
the
strong
longer
comment.
we-
You know what?
The longer we draw this out, the more likely it is that we have to cover the Pokemon news live on the podcast.
You're out of your
We're
mind
not
if you
doing
think I'm
that.
doing that.
Anyway, next up.
Anyway,
Good.
yeah, next.
You're right. Let's do the 80% speed run. Okay, thanks for tuning in, everyone.
You didn't even know. You didn't even cover the audience question.
I did. That's how fast I was. Usually I reserve that speed for the ladies.
You remind me of that fucking
Oh
old
my
YouTube video. It's like,
Okay, what's the real next?
So, much like the delay between Steve's brain and his mouth, there is a delay for Warhammer 40k Darkside. This was the Diatide but set in the 40k universe. If I'm
yeah,
not mistaken.
genuinely upsetting.
Yeah.
It's not much
so-
of a delay though, to be honest.
No, delayed till November 30th for PC, and then shortly after, whatever that means for Xbox Series. I don't know, when was the slate? Was it September?
It was September and it's back to November, I believe. Hang on, let me.
I said it's pushed back to November 30, but I don't remember what it was pushed from.
Yeah, it was from September 13.
Yeah, okay, cool.
For PC, at least.
Yeah, so slight delay to that, but, as we've seen with basically every game post-COVID, 2 months, probably
She's doing
good.
better than the KOTOR remake.
And Dead Island 2.
Can you not bring that up? I'm upset now. You know what? This is actually what happens when you develop games for Sony and not Xbox. It goes through hell. Microsoft should just buy
the entire
Sony.
gaming industry.
You know what? You said
it. You were hinting towards it.
Sorry,
Alright,
I
Amazon
just
will
had
buy
to
them
finish
all
your
out soon.
thought.
Amazon. What's that forest going to do? Anyway, okay. Now I'm just literally taking the piss.
You are, yes.
Something that's not taking the piss is a title of a 10-minute action game that you can beat, but I think this is probably one of the most interesting things to have come to just come up out of the blue, or at least out of the blue in terms of my circle.
Apparently this
34 Everlast.
this is the second trailer, but this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Yeah.
34
And it
Everlast.
looks
It's a
fucking excellent.
solo development effort, and the developer's also done the music, and the music is kind of slapping.
Okay, look,
excellent.
I've got two things to say. It is it's
nice
selling
80% speedrun, bro. Two things to say.
I got overwhelmed. It's my first podcast. So the news article says that it's completable in 10 minutes.
At a minimum, it says.
It's 10 minutes, but it's called Everlast. It obviously doesn't ever last. It goes to 10 minutes.
I mean, you can clear a Hades run in 10 minutes.
The trailer goes for 1 minute. So it's literally 10% of the game. So, I don't know. That's all I had to say.
Okay, well, what I have to say is it's very clearly inspired by Nier. The music is extremely similar, and even the combat to me looks very similar, and I am very excited to play it. And for someone to be doing that solo is incredible. I'm very keen for this.
I also just want to
really
say that I am a simple man. Having lightning trails while you're running super fast is just hitting me in like a great spot. It looks fantastic.
Boy, I got this game for you. It's called Tron. You'd love it.
Anyway, the tagline for 34 Everlast is a love story in a multidimensional universe. Do we have a release date for this?
I don't.
no.
This was just
think
the second
so.
trailer announcement. Yeah. So so a trailer is out. I don't think we have a release date yet, but super excited.
That's to be
for
announced, it says.
Yeah, cool. Super excited for it regardless. Anyway, next up in the list, 3D action game Bounty Star. I don't...
Also Annapurna.
Oh my god, so it is. I knew there was one other, but this wasn't a port, so I guess it deserves its own platform.
No, it's a new game.
I like big mechs. I like action games. I also like third-person shooters. All of these are ticking the right boxes for me.
I like
True.
big
And the
mechs
developer's
that
name is
can,
Dino God, which
Oh,
Dino
yeah,
God is a pretty
can
base
deny.
name.
Actually, what was the one we covered last week? Dinosaurs, mechs.
Exoprimal.
Which is
Exoprimal.
fucking sick.
Yeah, this is also ticking the boxes. Yeah, so this is cool. There is an announcement trailer out for that. This is on Gamatsu.
It says the mech
most
is
of our links.
customizable, so you can customize the type of weapons that are on it. Yeah, it just overall looks really interesting. There's a lot of different guns they show off. A lot of like slow but heavy looking attacks, which all look like satisfying to hit. It's not like a super like intricate action looking game like you'd see in a Devil May Cry or something, but it's like one of those smaller budget ones that like fills the void in your heart.
I mean, I don't think Annapurna has missed recently, so I'm keen just on the back of the who's attached to it alone. I also kind of like the art style. It weirdly reminds me of a more third-person Riftbreaker, but without the strategic elements.
I was getting a little bit of Borderlands out of it.
Yeah, in terms of the setting, I can definitely see that. But yeah, I'm super keen to see where this goes. This is definitely something I'm keeping an eye on.
Definitely going on the wish list.
Yep. Next up, Samurai Maiden, something that is not something I'm keeping an eye on, or at least not on the gameplay. Someone who is more interested want to take a pass at this?
Yeah, so this is being done by D3 Publisher, which they're known for
shit.
Yeah, we shit.
the
I wasn't gonna
Onii
say it,
games,
but-
the Earth Defense Force games, a bunch of like budget games that in Japan sell for like $20, but they're
Over here,
fun.
they're
They're
90.
fun games and worth those $20.
Hey man, that's shipping cost right there.
Yeah. I also want to point out that Nobunaga Oda in this game is voiced by Takuya Kuroda, and I saw that name and I was like, hold on a second, I know that name. Let me look it up. It's fucking Kazuma Kiryu from Yakuza.
Fantastic. I'm just going through the screenshots of this game. Weeb shit doesn't even begin to describe what this is.
Yeah, I'd probably play it.
You
Yeah,
are literally playing a girl in a schoolgirl outfit fighting zombies with a
This is a
sword.
samurai sword. Yes.
she is.
And it seems like there's other anime girls that join your party. And she's got... Yeah.
There is
be honest with
literally a line in this where she calls herself a Gen Z girl in historical Japan, and she'd watch an anime based on that.
Honestly, that's kind of sold me on the game. How
No,
much
it
is it?
hasn't. No, it hasn't. You're a
Hold
piece
on,
of
hold on.
shit.
Okay, Gen Z girl slays a demon king. I'd watch an anime based on that.
I'd
Would
play
you-
a game based on that.
I too would play a game based on that. It seems like it's either isekai or time travel at this point. Those genres are interchangeable. But yeah, you're playing as a high school
What's
girl
the
that's...
What's the difference between an isekai and a time travel? Like, isn't time travel you're just going to a different world, but it's a different time period?
Well, time travel is the same world. Isekai
Yeah.
is a different world.
Time travel is the same world, yeah. You're just traveling through time. Isekai is another world entirely, like a fictional world or
So
a
you're traveling through
multiverse or
space.
something. But yeah, no, this is very Oni-chan core. Yeah,
Oh,
this
yeah, I was gonna say that. Definitely. I can definitely see what the fuck you mean by that. Yeah.
Thank you for asking.
it looks really fun to me. I am keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, I'd probably
know
play
what?
it as long as it's cheap enough.
It probably doesn't, but if it had like an English track and like after she beats like the final boss, she'd be like, "Whoa, that shit was busting for real, no cap." I would buy it for that.
Please never say that again.
I will get it just for Kazuma Kiryu being Nobunaga Oda.
Okay, now is that the benchmark of what we're doing?
Yes.
Fun
Fun
put out a
fact, when
shitty
I
game?
search Samurai, it is the first thing to pop up in Steam.
Also, it is coming this winter, which is summer for us.
It's right
Good
now.
price though.
So, you might think that Steve was the
It
only
is-
one that took an L based on that absolutely god awful sentence that fell out of his mouth. But no, the next article on this list is talking about another L, Project L. In fact, the League of Legends free to play fighting game.
Yep.
They've confirmed that Alawi is the next fighter in the list. I actually know
It
very
just
little about
announced
this.
to be free to play as well, but everyone kind of predicted that was going to be the case.
Yeah. Just to hurt Steven one last time before we talk about this, the Samurai Maiden is only in Japanese audio. Okay, we can continue.
I was
Yeah,
so
yeah,
proud of
I-
my segue, Josh, and you just dragged it back.
I
That
know.
doesn't surprise me all too much.
No, me either. Sorry, go on.
With what? What's the point anymore?
He
Why
tries
am I
to,
here?
he tries to
Yeah.
move Josh,
Just to
and Josh
suffer.
just brings us right back.
Yeah, I actually don't know a huge amount about this. I knew that they were working on it because I know that Riot is trying to spread out into other genres, and they've done that with
Pretty
mixed
successfully
success.
so far, I think. Overall.
Yeah, I don't think anything's been a flop, but I know that people thought something, I don't remember what the name was, but the rhythm game involving Ziggs, people wanted more out of that for what it could have
Yeah,
been.
but it was like a $30 game as well. And when you look at like the success of Arcane and stuff like that, I think they've done a pretty good job branching out.
Yeah, and this
I
has
don't
been
think that's
in
branching out in
development
the
for quite a
game
long
space,
time.
though.
They're letting it cook.
But it's a 2D fighter, which like that's a lot of people's alley.
Yeah,
Finally,
Has rollback
something
netcode?
that we can
it
finally
does. They
bring
they
down
confirmed that
Nickelodeon
last time they
All-Star
talked
Brawl.
about it.
All
Is
right
this going to
then.
be the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl Multiverses killer? Smash Brothers? Something?
That's what I just heard.
Yeah.
So,
Wow,
so
Tasmane checking in, am I right?
Multiverses as a free-to-play game showed what like a Smash-style game could do free-to-play in terms of audience. This is gonna be like the test for like an actual fighting game, like traditional fighting game. Not to like put the barrier of is Smash a fighting game kind of argument, but like a 4-player brawler that's like very easy to get into is a lot different from and it has a lot more casual appeal than a one-on-one fighting game does. So it's going to be interesting how this shapes up in the free-to-play market, and like if something like Street Fighter or Tekken will end up following suits if this does really well.
Yeah, I don't think there's a huge amount more we can cover. There is a dev diary and blog post about Alawi, and I'm
they go
assuming some
into
of the
a
other stuff
lot
that
of
they're
detail
doing.
about her, and not just her, like their entire narrative mindset of how they build the roster for the game. Like they go into a lot of detail about like what sort of decision-making processes they do and why they choose certain types of characters. It's very important that they get like different body types, different visual style appeals.
Oh, that's cool. They're using Blizzard's diversity tool.
Yeah. no, they're just using their eyes.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know. I think spending a lot of man hours building a tool for the internet to clown on is a better use of money than just looking at something, Seth, but that's fine.
Why would you use one of your sensors when you can use some kind of AI-driven tool? Actually, no, AI would have more sense than that.
When we have Bobby Kotick himself as a perfect baseline for the tool.
I guess
Zero.
I guess to end off this article, they also mentioned Evo specifically being this weekend. So maybe they'll have something to show off at Evo, especially since the lead developers of the game, the Cannon brothers, helped create Evo.
Shit. Sorry, I tried thinking of a good segue. I don't have one. There's like a cool first party iPhone. I actually kind of like it. I don't like that they did the Xbox thing with the joysticks, but
Good.
I do.
Good.
10 out of 10.
Fantastic
Great.
base.
Yeah.
It's called the Backbone one. It's a controller announced for iPhone specifically because that's the only phone you can guarantee to the form factor. I quite like this as an idea because I don't have a PlayStation, so I don't know the full mechanics of remote play, but as I understand it, you can play from your phone, but it's all touchscreen based and therefore kind of hard to use. I don't even know how
Connect a
you
Bluetooth
use
controller.
Yeah.
R1 and R2 for it. Well,
Yeah,
if you
you
can connect to Bluetooth, I guess this would be for the situation where you're on a bus, right? Or something that you don't really...
Or just out
pull
and
out.
about, really. Anywhere that's
Yeah.
got like a decent internet connection, hopefully.
Or if you're just like emulating
Nowhere
something
in
on your phone.
Australia.
If we still had the PS Vita being supported, you could have remote played with that.
Here we go. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
Is
I'm
it
sorry, Steve. What was the good Xbox portable console?
I'm sorry,
The
that
Windows
doesn't
phone.
exist.
The Zune.
The Zune.
The Zune
Oh.
even.
Okay. Of anything you could have said, actually probably the best answer. So fair enough.
Yeah.
It
fair
is.
enough.
It is genuinely the
recovered.
best answer, and that's the worst part.
We're now back to Deuce, Steve to serve. But yeah, I don't know that there's a huge amount more that we can cover.
I'm I'm confused on why they went iPhone when Sony supports Android devices.
Well, no, it's because it's so hard to do a form factor for Android. Because Android is just the software. Every phone
Yeah.
company goes, we want to make it like microscopically different in form factor to our competitors for some
They
reason.
could still go with the major competitor like Samsung as well, though.
Or
just
even
make it a
based on their
USB-C one.
phones.
Like literally just add a USB-C port, or even just have a clip-on controller that supports Bluetooth that just clips in. Like that would be enough, you know?
Could make it adjustable or
but-
something.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a whole bunch of aftermarket ones that work perfectly fine. So I don't know, man. They could have done something. Is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, but this isn't like it's official Sony because they're licensing it, but it's like another company handling it. So
Mhm.
it was probably whatever Backbone wanted to do. Sony was just like, yeah, we'll slap our sticker on that and make some money off it.
Yeah, they can charge more for it if it's for iPhone only. So
But yeah,
Rip
I'm
iPhone
with,
users
I'm with,
getting double
I'm
charged
also
when
with Patrick
being
on this
an
in
iPhone
that
user.
the sticks annoy me. If you're gonna make a PlayStation product, stick to the PlayStation button configuration.
Yeah,
why
no,
when
right.
it's clearly worse?
Right, that would explain why PS5s are so hard to come by, and Xbox Series.
The DualSense
anything.
100% is the best controller I've used.
Yeah, actually, good quick test. Josh, you run both consoles. Which one have you used more recently?
PS5.
Oh, there we go. That's the better
Well, actually,
controller.
the most recent
Anyway.
console I've used is the Nintendo Switch.
Not surprising, to be honest. Everyone's got one of those.
So according
yes,
to Josh, the Switch
the
Pro
zone of
contro-
gaming consoles.
according to Josh, based on Patrick's weird skewed statistics, the Nintendo Switch Pro controller is the best controller on the market right now.
For its generation?
Seth, be very
Yes.
careful with where you make assumptions, all right?
Based on
For its
what?
generation compared to a PS4 controller? Yeah. Yeah, it shits all over a PS4 and a PS3 controller.
No. The Switch Pro controller is the worst of that generation.
Right, now at least you
Agreed.
just... I don't know, I didn't mind it.
The
It's
D-pad is
Xbox
the
One
D-pad
controller.
on it is the worst.
Why the fuck are you
Mon-
using a D-pad, man?
I needed to
The-
use it in Monster Hunter Rise, and it did so many bad double clicks, or like I'm pressing right and it decides to press up instead.
I don't know
it was
about you guys,
horrid.
Yeah,
but-
that
Got
did
fat
happen to
fingers.
me a lot as well.
I don't know about you
Fingers.
guys, but I really love the throwback feeling of when I press R2 and L2 on a Nintendo Switch controller and it feels like a DualShock 2 because there's no analog input. Really just makes me feel like mid-2000s, you know what I mean?
All right.
Anyway, speaking of Sony, did you know about the accolades feature? Neither did we. Sony's removing it. Oh well.
I actually knew it existed, but I'd never seen it ever used, and I genuinely thought it got removed.
Hey, Mum, we got
Now-
Microsoft
now it
Remote at home.
has.
It's being removed now.
Yeah.
What's it like seeing the future, Josh?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Is it?
Wait till the PS6 comes out. There's going to be way too much stock. Oh,
How's the economy looking in a year?
what economy? There's only one country left.
Glory
and
to
it's
China.
not the one you think.
Yeah, it's not the one you think. Come back next week and I'll give you the answer.
It's Old Zealand.
It's Yugoslavia.
Hey,
The old Czech Republic, huh? Nice.
go check it out.
Yeah,
I hate how well that fits.
I didn't even research this properly. I don't know 100% what the accolades feature actually did. I think it was just some sort of like way
So-
to give someone a thumbs up in a multiplayer match, basically.
You know what's crazy, Seth? That's also what Sony said, and then one of their devs just accidentally deleted it, and no one noticed. So now they're making it official.
Yeah, good. Every impression I've seen is like, wait, what the fuck is this feature? Why did no one ever mention this?
Anyway, so speaking of Sony,
You can't use the same segue twice in a row.
I'll allow it.
Speaking
watch
of
me.
multiple segues,
I'm going to allow this.
So as Seth mentioned 5 minutes ago, Evo is this weekend.
Yep, this weekend.
Yeah,
There's a whole bunch of news.
there
Don't
is.
care.
Okay, well, I'm
Sounds
not gonna
like
ask for
someone
Steve's opinion.
doesn't like fighting games.
I'm
I'm
excited
just
for...
not very good at them. And if I'm not good at something, I
I'm
don't want
excited
anybody else to be good at it.
to see all my favorite professional Smash players
do you
play
think
my
the
favorite
Capcom
game,
news is going to be
Nintendo
about
Smash.
Monster Hunter?
I'm
As
sorry,
long as I don't
Patrick,
smell
but
them,
I'm sorry to tell you this, Patrick, but Sony owns Evo now, and because of that, Nintendo said Smash isn't allowed there.
No,
Pray for the best, to be honest.
but it's always like I. Are you telling me I haven't showered for 2 weeks for nothing?
Yes, please shower for our sake, and don't shit in pools.
That's
Or
a very
harass
low
kids.
bar.
Just be a decent fucking human. I'll try my best. Seth, do you want to cover off the Evo news? I think you're probably more across it than I am.
This isn't too much news. It's just PlayStation is stealing from our branding and saying they're going to be making an Evo Lounge, which is where they're going to have a bunch of developers coming up from Arc System Works, Bandai Namco, Capcom, SNK, Warner Brothers, and Sony itself. All just to come up over the weekend to talk about existing content and new reveals throughout the show. So we'll see like sneak peeks of games in development or even new announcements.
Yeah, so Bandai Namco is going to be about Digimon Survive. Capcom's going to be about
already
the
came out.
Sunbreak release. SNK only does fighting games, and Warner Brothers games will
No,
be about...
SNK
Lord of
does
the
Metal
Rings 3.
Slug. We could do some shoot 'em ups.
On Earth is Metal Slug.
Oh,
Does it sound like
my
a Dragon Ball
God.
Z villain?
God.
We got Metal Gear at home.
Ugh.
We need to culture this man.
Do we?
No. Let's let him keep his Josh takes.
Right. So, yeah, I don't think there's too much more to speak on that. Something related. Well, not necessarily related, just because the Capcom thing. Random article that I found while looking at the Evo one.
Is it
which-
about the sales figures?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I clicked on it just because it was interesting. But are we talking about that or can
Yeah, we can
we
talk
can talk
about
about
that.
it. What are we talking about?
we can talk about the
Stick it in
first
there.
part. I don't really care about the second one.
I love the second part. One of the best games ever.
After the best game ever. No.
Debatable.
But yeah, we've been loosely talking about the Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak numbers just because they smashed 3 million 3 weeks ago. 3 or 4 weeks
around
ago,
launch,
yeah.
it straight up just went past 3 million for Sunbreak.
Yeah, which is awesome. I'm a little bit confused on the update for Sunbreak in this article, just because
It
say
is a little outdated. It says this was like the end. Like these are numbers from probably
the end of June.
the middle of the month, mostly. Yeah, it says sales numbers as of June 30th.
Yeah, which is quite
and
a while
Sunbreak
ago.
passed 3 million in July. That's what it was.
Because I wasn't sure when it says has sold 2.5 million units in brackets new. Like, is it 5.5 million now? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no. Okay, so yeah, this is like 2 months ago, or like the end of a full month ago, basically.
Which is a shame because the article came out yesterday, so I thought it would be new news. Yeah, it's a shame. Monster Hunter Rise 10 million. I think we mentioned that. That's, I don't know, still really cool. I'm surprised that Iceborne is still going. So 300,000 additional
really?
units.
Oh shit!
Yeah, since March 31st, 2021. Which, given how old World is now, and it's weird to say that because I still think World's a new game, but it's not. Because Iceborne came out in 2019, I think.
Stop, you're aging me.
Which-
Resident Evil 7 is still selling 200,000 units as well since March 31st.
That's also a sale and new Resident Evil news hyping it up. So that's not that
March
surprising.
31st last year. Unless that's a typo.
Last year, yeah. So in a year and a couple of months, it sold 200,000. Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, no, I was surprised that Iceborne. It's cool to see Iceborne and World are still going. I really hope that they are looking at doing a World 2 because.
And just to throw it out there, because this is the one I like and no one else cares, Devil May Cry 5 has sold 5.7 million units, an additional 700,000 since March 31st last year.
Cool. Next up on the news, we have the collaboration I know that we all wanted. Neo and Razer.
The collaboration everybody was asking for.
Razer is just getting into every market these days.
They are.
Remember their masks they were meant to be releasing?
They did release them.
Yeah, they did.
Did they?
Yeah.
I thought they just did like the test for them.
They did their betas and stuff, and they released, but not in Australia, I don't think. But yeah.
God damn it! I was even thinking about buying one.
They did look pretty good. They were quite expensive though.
I love the idea
I wouldn't say they looked good.
What do you mean? I love the idea of blinding the minimum wage fast food worker at the counter whenever I wear my Razer mask inside.
Look, as long as it connects to Razer Synapse, it's all perfectly good.
Please no.
Yes, that way I can activate macros with my tongue.
I need to set the RGB just right.
It's so stupid.
It looked pretty cool with like a rave or something, but I don't really see it being realistic.
Yeah, it would be a cool rave mask.
Yes, it would, and it's just hella cyberpunk dystopian, which is why I thought it looked kind of cool.
And so what better thing to join you at a rave than your Razer mask than rocking up on your Neo Mobility cross collab Razer electric scooter, which honestly just looks like a branded Monster Energy drink dirt bike.
Yeah. It looks honestly, it doesn't look that bad, all things considered.
I like that the promotional material is doing the Tron light cycle thing.
Yeah.
And that's most motorcycle promotional material, though, to be honest.
Based, they know how to appeal to me.
Yeah.
And the headlight looks like a fucking webcam key light.
It's a LED hollow ring, basically, for like streamers.
Yeah,
is what it looks like. And it is going to be LED, so. Honestly, I think this is kind of cool.
Finally, I can just use my instead of using a webcam key light, which would cost me $100. Instead, I can just get a Neo cross Razer electric scooter and set that up in the corner of my room instead.
Do you think I can set up the motorbike to Razer Synapse and adjust the headlights through the RGB controls?
Technically, it's a scooter because it doesn't have gears.
Quiet, you.
Technically,
no
one
correcting
cares.
gears are on the podcast.
No, does anyone else actually have motorbike or scooter licenses?
No, I thought about it for a while, but I just don't have the money to get car and bike retro.
Right.
My rebellious
there
period
was-
is over. So
There was definitely like a while when I was considering it, but then I recovered from COVID and my taste came back, so then I decided not to.
Wasn't that a few
okay,
weeks
so
ago, big fella?
I'm gonna take offense to that, but so I
Look, the
obviously
less
have a
things I
motorbike.
have in common
right?
with Josh, the better.
Yeah, so I obviously have a motorbike. My question for you is: Would this being available in Australia make you want to purchase a motorbike and learn how to ride it?
Nope.
Not this specifically, no.
No. Okay, so Razer is not branding out to the gamer appeal. Clearly.
Well,
I mean, it's not doing anything new for me. I am already interested. It's just
If you wanted to change your name to Kyle and drink Monster, you can do that without the Razer, without the
hang
Razer
on.
electric scooter.
So the article that we've posted in our docket, it links to a Facebook post, and if you read all the comments on that Facebook post, it is literally people begging for a gaming toaster.
Yeah. So that's like a meme on like Razer side. So they did like an April Fool's joke like years ago saying that they were going to make a toaster, and everyone's just been like, make the fucking toaster. The other week, the CEO posted a thing of someone that got into his office, to his office building, like the wall, and stuck like a silicone sticker of like a cutout of a Razer toaster on the thing, and he's like, please stop.
Not until you release a toaster.
He keeps like releasing like posting things being like, what kind of like home appliance would you like, and he'll put like selections of like fridges and stuff, anything that's not a toaster. It's really funny actually.
So according to this Facebook post, which is from
Min Lian Tan, so he is literally the CEO of Razer.
Oh, okay. I'm not super familiar with the corporate structure of Razer. That's cool. Apparently it sold out within 2 seconds.
In China, yeah.
Sure.
Doubt.
Cool, I guess. Do we believe that?
I do.
Not for a second. That's marketing.
The
shield.
demand for electric vehicles in China, and scooters and motorbikes especially, is extremely high. So that doesn't surprise me at all.
How much did they have though? Like you sold out in 2 seconds and you had like 10 bikes.
They probably had like next to none. It was probably a limited run.
So
reckon it
my
was like
question
5.
is, why would you drop all this money on a Razer electric scooter when, I mean, we've all seen gamers. I reckon I could take one in a fight. I could just wait for them to get one, and then I get a free Razer electric scooter.
Because you'd have to make it into China past the Great Firewall of China.
No, but
Hey,
it's a
they're
Tron bike. That's literally what it's designed to do.
They're too busy
guess.
looking at Taiwan at the moment. They're free.
Hang on. You mean China too?
Whoa!
Whoa!
Okay, let's move on before we lose all of our social credit points.
John Cena would be disappointed in me.
Yeah. Final news. I simply must tell everyone, tell the world that Bear and Breakfast Game of the Year. Not like a Game of the Year edition. I just mean like this game will be Game of the Year. Is now out on Steam. Is now out on Steam and is coming soon-ish to Nintendo Switch. Looks amazing. There's a video by RT Game going through it. It sold me on it. It's at least in New Zealand dollars, the $25 price point, which slightly high, I think, but might probably is worth it. It's definitely on my wish list. The thing that sold me on it is that so you're a bear and you're running a bed and breakfast, or a bear and breakfast, if you will.
And that sold you on the game right there.
No, so I thought, okay, I've seen this concept before, done a million times just with people instead of bears, so really what's the difference? But what really sold me on it was that all of the humans are actually aware that you're a bear, to the point where you can try and have conversations and it's just emotional bear noises, like energetic bear noises, sad bear noises, and people converse that way. And I was like, okay, now I'm sold.
They really took that like green text that the guy wrote
Yeah,
for
I was
the
thinking
D&D
of that
thing.
the entire time, Sir Barrington.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Sir Barrington. They literally took that and made it into a game.
Well,
So to give
what's the
context
Sir
is-
Barrington green text?
So to give context to the green text, it is a someone posted their D&D campaign where they played as a bear, and the dungeon master was just trying to have none of their shit. So they're like, okay, you're gonna have to play a rogue. You're gonna have to like pass disguise checks and stuff. And they went the entire campaign just passing all the checks and everything, and it learns how to fake talking English and everything. So eventually it just becomes knighted. And there's this one person that this one NPC finally passes a check. It's like, hold on a second, that's not a knight, that's a bear. It tries to start a commotion and then gets kicked out of the party, and everyone apologizes.
The other guys like roll high enough that he rolls higher than the other guy. So the guys are like, oh no, like we're sorry about that, Sir Barrington, and the bear just roars.
I take it you guys have never played Honey Heist before?
No.
Oh,
So
I have Version Azuros in Rise though.
So Honey Heist is what this game reminded me of. It's a D&D one shot that I've played with some mates before. It's quite
D&D
fun.
and bears.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. So
more like bears and dragons, am I right, fellas?
B&D. Oh.
Is that what BDSM stands for?
Stop it, Ron.
Bears and dragons and...
all right, I'm gonna need both of you to turn the fuck down. All right. So
Listen, save
Turn down for
it
what?
for FTL After Dark.
Ooh.
With the golden dildos.
So it's a
The
game by
penetrator weapon from Saints Row.
Guys, I'm trying to discuss Honey Heist. All right. Just
You'll never
Before the
discuss
dildo
Honey
chat for
Heist.
30 seconds, please.
I don't need Saints Row 3 penetrators invading my Honey Heist chat. All right.
Invading my bear.
You leave Sir Barrington out of this. So it's a game.
You've known
it's a
Sir
ga-
Barrington for 5 minutes and you'll kill us all and yourself if anything happens to him.
Look, Patrick's really trying to bear all here. I think we could at least listen to him.
So anyway, Honey
No, I'm
Heist.
just sad. So Honey Heist, it's a one shot. It's a game made by Grant Howitt back in 2017. You can look up Honey Heist rule set. I'll read you a couple of snippets because it's rather good. So, yeah. So it's HoneyCon 2017. You are going to undertake the greatest heist the world has ever seen. 2 things. 1, you have a complex plan that requires precise timing, and 2, you are a goddamn bear. So the character creation screen, character creation system, not a screen, D&D. You roll 3d6s to determine your descriptor, your role, and your bear type. Descriptor, things like rookie, washed up, retired, unhinged, slick, and incompetent. Your bear type / skill, grizzly, polar, panda, black, sun, and honey badger. And your role of the muscle, the brains, the driver, the hacker, the thief, or the face. And you get to roll an additional d6 to determine the hat.
This sounds excellent.
It's so good. So you have 2 stats.
What are the hats?
What?
What are the hats?
The hats, you have the option of, well, not the option because it's a d6, but, 1d8. 1d8, not even a d6.
Ooh,
You have,
there's 8 hats.
you have trilby, top, bowler, flat cap, cowboy, fez, crown, or the 8th is just roll twice. You just roll again. So you have 2
Absolutely
stats.
base decisions.
You have 2 stats. Your first stat is bear, which you use to
Yep,
more
understandable.
stuff.
You know what?
more-
That instantly reminded me how the Mario and Luigi games have a mustache stat.
Very similar.
Yeah.
So your bear stat is used to maul stuff, run, climb, shrug off damage, scare people, and generally do bear stuff. But your other stat is criminal,
Generally do bit criminal even.
which you use to do anything not directly related to being a bear.
Holy
So
shit,
when-
I need to play this.
It's so good. So when you act, the outcome. So when you act, anything is based on a d6. And so if it's related to being a bear, then bear stat. Hang on. Shoot, I need to
Am I having a stroke?
check what's happening here. No,
If you're fighting
no.
someone and you roll a 1 as a bear, I'm still sure you'd win. like honestly.
That's right.
Explode
Yeah,
into
yeah.
bees.
So if you need to do a check, you roll a d6, and if it's equal or under the relevant stat, that's right, then you succeed. And if it's over the stat, you fail. But if it's if you're using your bear special skill or doing something related to your role, it's 2d6 and you pick the lowest. And the reason why it works like this is because when something goes wrong and you're in difficulty, you move 1 point from criminal into bear. And when things go well and the plan is coming together, you move 1 point from bear into criminal.
This is so weirdly unique.
So the whole thing, it is just a one shot. So it's just 2 stats. So if your criminal stat reaches over 6, you'll lured into a lifetime of crime and betray the party. And if your bear stat reaches over 6, you flip out bear style and lose it.
This is excellent.
Yeah, I mean,
I just
if-
fucking
if-
snorted when I was playing.
so if the other FTL boys want to try and steal some honey sometime and see how many bear/criminal stats they can rack up, we should do that. It's quite fun. What
I'd be
was
down.
mine?
There'd be something on Tabletop Simulator for it.
I was a 'cause when I did this with my mates, I was an unhinged black bear hacker. That was my role. So I had to hack the security system for HoneyCon 2017. It was a whole thing. You had to be there.
You really just played yourself, huh?
What? Wow. Okay. the D6 soul read me. Anyway, yes, that's Honey Heist. I don't know how we got talking this for so long. I'm so sorry. But
looks like you get charged for one count of being a bear and another count of being an accessory to being a bear.
And another count of being a criminal. So anyway, so the point is Bear and Breakfast, excellent game.
Honey Heist sounds better.
But yeah, so that rounds out the news for this week. Thank you to everyone for that. The audience question. I know that we didn't get to one last week, but we have one this week, mainly because it's not 3 hours and it's not 2 a.m. and I don't really want to cry.
Very close to 3 hours. But
Need to kill time till Pokemon, so...
Audience question for... Don't threaten me with a good time. So the audience question for this week. Good evening. Sorry. Fuck.
I knew you'd do that.
I knew you'd do it too.
It's so instinctive.
I would have done it as well.
Oh, it's so instinctive. Mitchell, if you're listening, fuck you. I did it to Josh twice before we started recording, so that one's fully on me.
It's so funny.
Anyway, seeing as you guys do such an excellent job doing free advertising to Krispy Kreme every week, are there any sponsored products or services you've bought after listening to an ad break in another podcast or video? Question sent in by Michael J. Tattersfield.
How was the Blue Chew, Stephen?
it took me like, I'm like, what the fuck's Blue Chew? Is that 5 gum? But you were on the receiving end, big fella. How'd you find it?
You know, that's a good answer. I'll take that.
You know what?
Yeah. Product did as advertised. Can confirm.
I'm sorry, what is this product?
Blue Chew. It's like basically Viagra that gets melted.
No,
it's
Don't
gummy
believe me?
Viagra.
Google Blue Chew inflation.
Oh my god.
But getting back
Comes
to
in
the,
waffle flavor too. Look up.
Getting back to the question though, I don't really think that I have. I've fallen for a couple of like Instagram ads where it's like, hey, you guys want to buy some free sunnies? Just pay for the shipping.
Have you fell for those?
Yeah. I was like, it was like that day I like broken my sunnies. And then the Insta algorithm got me, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. What do I got to lose? And so they rocked
You're
up
like $15.
They rocked
shipping.
up 8 weeks later. And the build quality was
even.
that. It was like the build quality was that shit. They must have just fucking
Gonna
mashed
have a
produced
Kellogg's
them.
box.
Literally, it was like off center. So I put it on my face, and it was like one of the lenses was like essentially like on my forehead, and I'm like, okay, what a waste of $20. And in the meantime, though, A, I'd forgotten about it. B, I got another pair of glasses. So
Wow.
let this be a lesson to us all.
How about some of those? God, what's the website called where you back things? The
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter things. Have you fell for any of those?
No, I haven't. No,
No?
I fell
you
for Mighty
talking about
Number
them?
9.
Yeah, I know.
cringe.
I also
I-
fell for
I've fallen for a
Ukulele.
couple.
Yes.
Yeah, ukulele was bad.
It
I
wasn't.
actually still
think
need to
I-
play that myself. I keep hearing it's bad, and it's like maybe after all this time going in fresh, it won't be as bad as I think.
It's not as
people
bad
put
as
it
you.
up as they say.
It's like average. Like it
It's not even
overstays
just
its welcome.
average. It's like a solid 4. It's like just below average enough to make you not want to play it anymore.
They could have, if they cut half the game out, it'd be a lot better. But it gets in. Like, okay, I'm sick of doing this. Like
I
it's
also
repetitive.
back the Cyanide and Happiness card game, and I've yet to play it.
I remember
Well,
that, actually.
joking hazard.
Yeah, Joking Hazard.
That's fun. I backed that and I got it, and I played it a bunch.
I backed it. I've got it, but
is it because you don't have any
gone,
friends?
Yeah, exactly. I've never gone in.
Ah,
I've
shit.
never gone out. Like, would
You've
you
never
would you,
gone
would you
outside, eh?
play?
Maybe you should touch grass.
Would you play a game with Josh? I wouldn't.
Wow.
I like how you
Right.
specifically said Josh and not any of the other ones.
I know.
I'm busy anyway.
Fucking hell, alright.
Got a
Last time
podcast
I
to
help
record.
you in Monster Hunter or something. You want to play multiverses later? Nah, go fuck yourself.
Unstable.
Listen, you don't want to play Monster Hunter with me anyway. I just throw.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, past evidence has shown that is exactly correct, yes.
So I have 2 to contribute. Well, 3 actually. One, I've been burned by Kickstarter before, as I think everyone has. Two, Unstable Games does a lot of their funding via Kickstarter.
Unstable Games.
So if you're familiar with,
I'm also going to Google it, yeah.
you're probably familiar. Well, the probably biggest one was Unstable Unicorns.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
Yeah,
Actually, looks
so
kind of good.
Ulysses
that's
Company. Here to slay. Yes.
That's what I was going to bring up. Actually, was I saw ads for Here to Slay, and then went, chances are I'm not going to be able to play this with anyone, just because I didn't think there'd be enough interest with people around me. So I went to a mate's flat down in Wellington when I was visiting parents for Christmas, and played it with his flat, and I was like, "Fuck, this game's amazing!" So I bought it like the day, like I bought it after we finished playing, and played it a few times since. I really enjoyed it.
Eh? Not even a ski.
And so they I don't remember their latest one. They did their latest one on Kickstarter 2-3 months ago, I think, maybe even 4 months ago now. Been a while. Sometime this year, they did another one. But on the back of how good Here to Slay was, I backed that. So in that way, it was kind of an ad. But outside of that, outside of Kickstarter in general, really, I don't know what the order of operations was here. But so my room, I have blinds that don't stop a huge amount of the light that comes in. So if it's sunny in the morning, there's just sun in the room, and so it's light. And so if I wake up, it's really hard to go back to sleep. So I don't know if I looked up sleep mask or if Google just decided to give me a sleep mask ad. But I bought Manta sleep masks off of an ad.
Were they worth it?
Honestly, yeah. They've been really good.
I think I could have sleep with a mask on. I think it would piss me off, to be honest.
That's the thing. I didn't think that'd be me either. But now I basically don't sleep without one.
It would be a good way to stop me looking at my phone when I'm in bed.
Well, it's just like, it was never. So apparently a lot of the issue that people have is that it's going to sleep, which is the issue, which is never the issue for me. It's that when I wake up, if it's too late, I will just never get back to sleep. But
do you want to go back to sleep? We've got things to do. Grind. Rise and grind.
That's sort of a different issue in and of itself. But yeah, no. I bought that entirely off of seeing an ad and checking that it wasn't a scam site. But what's funny is I succumbed, right? I did it. I bought an ad. Yeah, I bought from an ad. But I don't think Google's figured that out yet, because I still see a very, very heavy weighting of Manta sleep mask ads, which is kind of funny in that, yes, they are targeted at me because I have the product, but bad in that because I already have the product, they're wasting their time.
Are they cool?
And money.
Because I get the ads as well, even though I've
never even heard of them.
That's why I've got like eyelids.
Holy shit, I've never wanted to strangle you so much.
That was fucking excellent. Keep it up. Keep up the good work.
Fucking laying my soul bare on here, saying like, yeah, this has genuinely helped me. It's a good product.
That's
and Steve's just like,
Manta.
Yeah, like the Ray. Steve just like, yo, let me just show you your eyelids real quick.
Left, right, good night. But like, was there any adjusting? Like, or, I don't know, maybe I'm a bad example because I just go to bed when I'm tired.
They're fucking expensive, bro. What the heck?
$35 USD for a good night's sleep. You can't afford a price on that. Look at this
35.
guy.
The ones I'm looking at here say 89.
The fuck are you?
89 you Jesus Christ.
Oh wait, sorry. This is a pro version. There's a pro version of a sleep mask. I'm sorry. The slim ones are $29 on sale.
You might need the max one because your big
for
fucking
the
head.
max mask.
Yeah, you'll need the max one because your big fucking head.
Oh my god, they have like eye cups on them. That's wild.
Yeah, they do.
It's comfy. It's like goggles. You can pretend you're
Goggles are
underwater in your
terribly
dreams.
uncomfortable. It looks like you took a set of headphones and then put it the wrong way on your head.
Okay, you know what? This is the last time Patrick shares anything on the podcast.
Nah,
Fuck you
don't
guys.
be like that. You're
Manta
giving out
aroma dots. You can get scented ones.
Yeah,
that
no,
are add-on therapies.
That sounds pretty good.
That's what
It
the
does
ads have
sound pretty
started.
good.
The ads have started serving those to me, and nah, I don't care.
I think that the scent would
It's
keep
okay,
me awake.
Patrick. I respect your stories.
I don't respect anything about Patrick, sorry.
I would
No,
absolutely fang one that smelled funny. Not funny, it smelled good. Like,
It smells funny. Why does this smell off?
I'm an absolute degenerate for like incense and all that kind of stuff. Oh,
Is it like velour? The eye cups or something?
What the fuck? What?
That's Velvet. The lure. How do I spell that?
Okay. Yeah, let me look at what it is.
Yeah.
The Pro version is machine washable. There you go.
Anyway.
I bought 2 for $1 when they were on sale.
Oh, fuck, that's all right. Even better, you're getting a deal.
Discounted massively, so it made sense, and I am happy with my purchase.
So powered by advanced material science.
Okay, so hear me out.
What about you, Saif? You're being awfully quiet. I'm worried that you're going to say that you bought a house or something.
From an ad.
Yeah, there was this one ad
cost
that,
$300,000.
there was this one ad that said I could buy a house with
free shipping.
like 3,000 small payments of $1,000.
Actually, I'm
that's
constantly
not
getting
bad.
home loan ads at the moment.
Because you're looking at houses. Yeah, I've been serving them as well. 1 bedroom from it's like prices start at 500,000. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Are you
Where is
getting
it
the car
at?
spot? Yeah,
Kellyville. No thanks.
So to dig up a memory that Patrick's probably forgotten, but lives in my head rent free. Me and a mutual friend both got Dollar Shave Club. My mutual friend, like the first time he tried it, was just sitting on call, and Patrick got so annoyed because we were sitting there for like 5 minutes talking about how good of a shave it gives us, and Patrick's just like, "Shut the fuck up, Jake. I can hear you rubbing your face."
Oh, I remember that. I was like, "What? Did
That
this
was when
happen?"
Iceborne came out.
My God, that was
a while ago.
That was ages
That's
ago.
lived in my head rent free ever since. But no, legitimately, Dollar Shave Club has been great. Whenever I run out of stock, I'll buy like 4 months worth of razors, and that'll last me like a year. Because I don't shave all that often, I should shave more often than I do. But no, every time I do, it's just such a great shave, and does a great job.
So,
very, very happy I got that.
Wanting to super quickly canvas the boys. I pretty much every content creator that I watch on YouTube is now running NordVPN sponsorships. I've never even trialed NordVPN, and there's no amount of seeing people get sponsored by NordVPN that will change my mind at this point. Has it worked on any of you guys?
No.
Heavy caveat. I did add NordVPN for a couple of years, but I didn't get it from the ads. I had it from Googling best VPN and literally doing a borderline Excel table that said all the VPNs and how much they
Bro,
cost.
Basically did the same and got ExpressVPN.
This sounds like a sponsorship, bro. Come on.
I wish it was, my friend. I wish it was. It was like cheap at the time, and now I just don't use a VPN. I'm just raw dogging it.
Yeah. I don't use VPN
Anyway,
at the moment.
any
get
final?
this right. The Pro version of the mask features ventilation holes and perforated
God.
materials to allow air to move freely through the mask.
Ventilation holes. Your eyes don't breathe.
It's a speed hole.
Makes your eyes go faster.
Since it's reference. I'm trying to think of one. I think the thing with me with my ads is that I don't think I've ever bought anything off an ad that I haven't extensively Googled and researched for fucking months, if not years prior.
But if the ad triggers you to do that research, it's still working, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think they ever have. I think the only... Yeah, no, not really. I can't think of anything I've just bought randomly and gone, yeah, you know what, that looks great.
When I'm looking
Other
for
than,
things like new
Clash of
shoes.
Clans.
Oh, yuck. Sometimes when I'm looking
Oh, I've
for
downloaded
things...
mobile games, actually. There you go.
Dumb. Sometimes when I'm looking for things like new shoes or socks or something, I'll just Google shoes or socks just so I get served
Look for
ads.
the ads.
Just so I can get served ads. I never really buy anything. So I just cave and buy stuff from the Iconic because I don't have any originality. But yeah, thanks for listening.
Think, you know, I'm. This is probably not quite an ad, but I watch a lot of like the Samsung Unpacked events and the Apple WDC and stuff like that. So if you consider that an ad, I've bought stuff based upon stuff I've seen them present.
Didn't you buy one of those Apple wheels?
Fuck no. Absolutely not. $800 for wheels? Out of your mind.
Didn't you buy an Apple? Aren't you one of the first pre-orders for an Apple car?
That doesn't exist yet.
No, you just get like a normal car and you drill. You get a normal Apple, like a Granny Smith one for me. And you get like then you get 4 of the Apple wheels, and there you go.
No, you get a normal car, and then you just drill the 3.5mm jack back into it.
Ah.
Do you remember that thing that was going around? I think 4chan started, where it was like people, you could just drill a hole, the hole back into your iPhone.
or also
The microwave one to charge.
latest software update means you can now microwave your phone to charge it.
Oh, so good.
The New York Fire Department going, guys, please
stop. American education system, ladies and gentlemen.
So
Anyway.
I think to end this off, I think the number one sponsor that we should all talk about is how every week we sell Krispy Kreme donuts to all of our thousands of viewers.
But we don't get paid
And
for that.
ourselves.
We do it
feel
for
like,
free, fellas. We do it
Like
for free.
Jim Jeffries talking about Imodium.
Yeah,
That's
you know
a
what goes
reference
great
for anyone that listens to the Jim Jeffries podcast.
I do not
you
listen
know what
to
goes great with Krispy Kreme?
Imodium. For the
Anyway.
record, the bit that he does is that Imodium's like like an anti-laxative, basically, for people that shit themselves or whatever, because he's lactose intolerant, and he's like, I will never take a cent from them. They saved my life. It's excellent.
Well, as I've been trying to do for about 4 minutes now, but anyway, hopefully that answers your question, Michael. If you or someone you know has a question you'd like us to want to get in touch, we're on Facebook at Faster Lounge, Twitter at Faster Lounge, minus one of the L's, and on Gmail, fasterlounge@gmail.com. Please give us a like on your favorite podcast platform and a review or comment if you can. All interactions help boost our voices within the algorithm and bring us one step closer to being the preferred gaming and pop culture news podcast sponsored by Krispy Kreme.
Did we say Michael's full name?
We did, yes.
We did
Excellent,
multiple
excellent.
times. Michael J. Tattersfield. Why? I mean,
No reason.
Up to our listeners if they want to put their full name in the audience question, but yeah, it signed it as Michael J. Tattersfield. Anyway, with that just brings us to the end of episode 35 for this week. Anything that people can look forward to for next week from any of you?
2 Point Campus.
Stray. I will review Stray.
2 Point Campus is coming out on Game Pass. I get to play a brand new game for free.
What is 2 Point Canvas?
Tuesday the 9th of August, my dude.
It's
Alright.
management. It's like 2 Point Hospital and 2 Point.
Two-Door Cinema Club.
Never heard of them. Two-Door Cinema Club. I've heard of Two-Door Cinema Club. I look forward to your review so that I can decide if I'll play it next week.
It's on Game Pass. It's free. Play it.
All right.
Anything new,
I,
Saif?
I will most likely be playing Get Out of Hell and probably some Dragon's Dogma on the side.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, you got dragons, though.
What about you,
Yeah,
Patrick?
I started and then I stopped because literally everything else came out.
Because we made fun of him for it loud.
Yeah.
No, because Sunbreak came out. I made the stupid decision of starting an RPG before Monster Hunter came out.
For
What are you playing
the
next, Patrick?
RPGist. What is on my list next?
Probably
funnily
video
enough,
games.
We were talking about Here to Slay, and one of my side projects is to build an online version of that. So
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
that's kind of been taking up a good chunk of my time now that I'm no longer as busy with work and everything else associated with that. But video game related, what is next on my list? One of the one of the
Bear and
ones.
breakfast. Oh!
No. Similar vein. It was one.
It's a similar vein. Sorry, come on. This is so niche.
Let me. It's Bear and 5-star Hotel. No, Cult of the Lamb. Cult of the Lamb? No, what? Something of the Lamb.
I don't know. It's your story.
No, we covered it.
Silence of the
No,
Lamb.
it's not silent. It was Cult of the Lamb. I was right. I had to
Cult
wait
of
for
the
Steam to
Lamb
do that.
God? Isn't that what it's called? Or am I thinking something different?
No, Cult of the Lamb. It's coming out. Never mind. August 12th. I thought it was this week. No,
Got
coming
another
out
week to
in 2
hold on
weeks.
to that one.
That was one that we covered as part of
early
that.
teasing the audience.
It was that giant list episode, and this is one that I pointed out and said I really like the look of that, and then I played the demo and I went, yeah, I'm going to pre-order this. So I pre-ordered it.
Oh,
Yeah,
actually, this
it
game
looks
does
really
look good.
cute.
I remember this.
I'd never actually got around to playing that demo. I downloaded a bunch of demos and never got
Me
a chance to
either.
do them.
Plus Devolver too, and it's fairly cheap. Yeah, I might give that a go. We might talk about that the week after.
Yeah. Otherwise, I finished the Hot Wheels DLC for Forza. Maybe I'll talk about that. Finished Outer Wilds. Maybe I'll talk about that.
Talked about that last week.
I'm sure
still
Josh
waiting for-
could squeeze it out in a weekend.
Can we get a full review of Man to Sleep?
Anyway, this has been episode 35. I've been Patrick. I've been joined by Josh, Seth, and Steve. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
Happy birthday to my new house, which I move in next week. Actually, no, it's tomorrow. Happy birthday.